ପୁଅ ମାନଙ୍କୁ କିଏ ଦେଖେ?
ଇଣ୍ଡିଆରେ ଝିଅ କରୁନାହାନ୍ତି କି?
अरे जे माइक धरिची ता कथा कହୁଛି यार तो क्या समझ रोबर्स भाई
ଆରେ यार ଏଠି କଣ ତାର ନିଜର ଆଡ ଦେଇ ସାରିଲାଣି ଛାଡ କି
ରହଟି ବାଟିଟା କରନି ଲାଇଭ କରିଦଉଛି ଘର ଟିମ୍ ପକଉଛି।
ଆଚ୍ଛା ଗୋଟେ କୋଉଥିରେ ବସି 3 ଜଣ ଦେଖିବା ସେଇଟା କରିବା ସିଷ୍ଟମ ନା ଅଲଗା ଅଲଗା ବସି ଦେଖିବା ଯେ ଧରିଛି ବସିକି
ଏଇ ଡିସ୍କର୍ଡରେ କରୁନ
କରୁଛି
ସମସ୍ତେ ଚୁପଚାପ ଦେଖୁନ ନିଜ ନିଜ ଟ୍ୱିଚ୍ ଖୋଲିକି
नो वे ଏମିତି ହେଇପାରିବ ନାହିଁ
नो वे କହିଲେ नो वे ଏ ପ୍ରଭୁ
Over in Pacific, there are a lot of jokes, there are a lot of memes about this org never even making it to playoffs, but for the very first time this year, not only do they make it to playoffs, they made it to the finals event over in Vietnam on the road show, and now they're here in Masters London. A lot of these guys on this roster have a lot to prove.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think that after that kickoff performance as well, they kind of came into stage one having those expectations on their shoulders, especially when you look at the names on this roster. We're looking at Autumn, we're looking at Patman, bringing in that experience for the rest of the team. And like you mentioned as well, Victoria, for them to be able to go to that LAN finals event, get that experience as a best of 5 the very first time within this roster would have been really great for them. And yeah, maybe they did end up losing that rematch against PRX when it got to that, but mate, the fact that they were able to go on such a run and get themselves into this position to be able to make it to this global event is such a success for them.
Yeah, and I think a lot of credit goes to Frost here, the coach. I think that this team is a little bit of a ragtag team. It's not necessarily the 5 best teams.
एसके रोसी तार कोन गेम माने ये डाउन होला ना
नाइ नाइ से शेड्यूल पळिला बा ए शेड्यूल खेलु to another global stage.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of
शेड्यूल खेलु छे
them almost
बहुत हाइप दे गला,
and that's why when they've come together and made it this far, it's really a phenomenal, kind of a beautiful story. And
इंडिया क्रिकेट वाला अवस्था ला
there were a lot of people doubting him when he came over to Pacific. This guy yaps a lot, and they're like, what is he talking about? But he's definitely walking the talk right now. Now, we have an interview with Patman. He returns to the global stage with a new org, and he's absolutely phenomenal, like you guys were saying. He was last year, making it Toronto on a
पहुंची तेल जे मु गोटे कथा कहले मु तो 80 रा नै देल तमे गळे गळे मते जीरो कर दलो दीटा मैच रे
हरामी तापर जो 1000 टा मैच तोर प्लस करछि
आ ता फोटो को खेलियो ता फोटो खेलियो
his time with PRX
नहीं तमे जेते ये गलो कोन बाटर हगिलो सेटा हमें धरि
he needs to have for the rest of his team coming into this.
I was fortunate enough to work with him a little bit on that Paper X run, and I would describe him back then
दांतर कोन ले जेरा
insecurity issues, some confidence issues, and if that is the kind of thing that he's working on, then he is a beast. He is looked like a completely different player on Global Esports. He knows how good
अरे कोन पिंटू को इग्नोर करछो बोली से मैसेज करथला ग्रुप रे
a support bot. He's not throwing colors out for his team. He is the one fighting off his utilities.
And it's not only that, it's the amount of
जानी
flexing that he's been having to do, which is what is allowing Frost
अरे नाइ रे भाई
these ideas and allowing them to play all of these crazy different compositions that they have been running in their region.
It's wild. He's actually been breaking records in Pacific against Paper X, funnily enough.
चट्टी जाई की बात जे कथा आवे ता संगे या दो साइड खेली
on his
कथा
return to the global
आवे पे किक मार दे से किक मार दो
he
मो
is
से कोन कोई
genuinely
त मना करबी ना या दो साइड कथा
Here
हो
with Patman of GE.
Nah.
Patman,
सामान्य कोन
you've
कथा
gone extremely far in your past global event. I mean, you won Masters.
मूवी कोई नहीं दो किक मारे
But
से
in
नीचे मार दे
Pacific,
किक
there were moments where the team itself was still kind of developing under pressure.
जीती जे बोदम लागु जी
The amount of experience that you have when it comes to the big stage and the global stage, how much responsibility are you planning to take on
नहीं नहीं जीती और बहुत
to make
कष्ट
sure that the team stays composed
कहां संगे जी
today?
PRX
big
boys already, so I don't think I have responsibility for that. I know they know how to calm themselves properly.
Is that the way it was when you were on Paper X?
हेलो
हेलो
But you're
मैं भी अभी ये स्ट्रीम देख के आ रहा हूँ
They need to be stronger for the bigger stage. All right, thank you so much, Kevin, and good luck today.
जीत गई भाई
क्या लग रहा है आज जीतेगा
I have to say, well, being on Paper X is very different than being on Global Esports.
हाँ भाई जीतेगा
How
जीतेगा
many kill will Neon get by the end of this map?
So it's his former coach
0, 5, 6, 10, 11, 15,
11 15
16, 20, 24
ना 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 16 जाए बजे
coaches.
मैं अभी
So,
क्लच मारना सीख
Yeah, I
गया
think for my
भाई
money right now, Frost and Owner are extremely
ओ
good.
ये
Owner
आ
has
गए
been
देखो
consistently making
कूद
these
रहे हैं
global
देखो
events when he's had the opportunity to do so, and Frost time and time again lifting up the teams. The interesting thing to me is the styles that they bring though. Completely different. LEV have a
आज
very
क्या
set
कुछ नहीं
structure,
खेलोगे क्या
very set strats, a little bit readable some people may say, and on the
एड
flip
दो
side,
ना
you
मैच
have
देखी
Frost
बच्चे
with the
मुड़ी
weird
मांस
comps
खाइबे
and lots of game plans, and the
आज
key
कोई गेम
ingredients are the
आज
game
कोई
plans
गेम
to beat LEV's
आज कोई गेम
structure
नहीं
and set
खेलोगे
strats.
क्या
And one of the bigger
ए
questions
सुन
I think
आओ गोटे
overall,
क्वेश्चन
when we consider the length of this
Hola?
event
ये
is are the
KNGG
leagues that are
versus
able to hold
Batman
KNGG.
It's
who
not the
will
same
be
thing in
KNGG
regular
होते।
season where you
এটা
have
কোন
week to
হবো
week you have
KNGG
these set
KNGG
stats planned out,
बोले।
but then also for
रोबर्ट
the
भाई
sports to be able to
हाँ
come in with
लागू
those
थी,
very
KNGG
specific
आज
strategies,
आज कोई
you're
गेम
gonna be
नहीं
having to do
खेलोगे
things
क्या
overnight. You can't just
नहीं
be cooking
इसको
up
देखेंगे
flash
इसका बाद
compositions that we see from the
ये खेलेंगे क्या वो
to go
गैम्बलिंग
ahead
वाला
and understand these
गैम्बल विथ
So
फ्रेंड
I want to see how they kind of adapt
Gamble with
feel
friend,
in that
अच्छा।
process.
Yeah, my preference here is the
Yeah.
left side. When you've got such a young team, I prefer to have a little bit
योड़ा
more
हम
structure, a
गोटे
little
छोड़ी
bit of
यहाँ
set things,
चलो
not
चलो।
having to flex too much, not having to
सबसे ज़्यादा
make
पड़ेगी
big decisions in the moment. I prefer my
अच्छी
players
अच्छी
to not
टिक्के
have to
में
think too
टिक्के
much. So
पटाच
coming into
अच्छा,
this
अच्छा,
stage,
मास्ट
I
डी
find
इंटरेस्ट
LEV
चुरो
like
हाँ
left.
हाँ
all right,
निश्चिंत
well, let's see what the map veto is because one thing Frost is very
हाँ ये
confident
कौन
about
होता
is
देख लियो
his
बढ़िया
map
फोटो टे
बढ़िया फोटोटे
Let's do the map veto real quick.
अरे अरे
मोर ओडे
वो
They,
दे दे
Leviathan is the higher seed, so they're picking their side. So please go ahead and choose your
शॉर्ट
side.
कल
we're gonna
बेटा
team B.
Team B. Alright, that means G is on the A side and banning first.
We ban
जी
Ascent.
बेटा मैं
Alright, Ascent is banned. And now your turn.
The ban Breeze.
इसे सौ को
Breeze
गेला
is banned and G is picking the first map.
We pick Pearl.
Pearl is picked and the side for Pearl, please.
ये कौन हेवन करियो ना कौन लासु
हाँ हाँ अना ब्रिज काटी देला ये काटी देला एसेंट
एसेंट ब्रिज कटला पॉल्टा मत लागुची
रखी प्लॉट रखिला बा पॉल रखिला पॉल रखिला
Defense. Alright, then your map pick, please.
तो डिफेंस में नेला
Same on 8. The big fracture.
Fracture. Side for
फ्रैक्चर
fracture.
ना लगे
अरे यार एटा कौन
कौन भाई कौन दिखाओ छकी
Alright, then we have Haven, Lotus, and Split
एमती कौन
left.
आसिला एटा
Global Esports.
अरे इटा बा तुम खोली लो गोटे जिंस
Ban Haven.
अरे
Haven
यार
and
Attack
Lotus,
man.
two maps are
Attack man.
Lotus and Split.
हां हेवन काटी देले
Lotus is banned, the side is
Inshallah.
Split, and GE is picking the
ना
side.
Oh.
लोटस काटी ले
स्प्लिट रेम
Attack.
Attack. Alright, let me give you a quick recap. We start with
इतने
Pearl,
बापू जो चुपचाप
Leviathan
देखो
defense, then we have
अरे
Fracture,
ସେଇଟା
G
ହିଁ ଜିନିଷ
attacks,
ନା ଆଉ
then we have Split, G.
ଆମର
ଏଇଟା।
ତ ଇଂଲିଶ ଓପନ୍ ଆମେ ଓଡ଼ିଆ ଓପିଆ କौन
Alright, think you're good like guys?
ସେଇ କଥା ଏ ଜାଣି ପାରୁନାହାନ୍ତି କିଛି
ଏସୁ यार
Accident
टूर्ना
player तो
କେତେ ଅନପଢ ଲୋକ ଗୁଡା ଥିବେ
Frost
ये
has
accident तो
GE needs to
ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ
take
ଏମିତି
down
ହଉଛନ୍ତି
LEV to prove that they deserve to
Accident
be
ତ
here.
ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ ଏମିତି
Those are
ହଉଛନ୍ତି
some
ଆମେ ସବୁ
fighting
ବୁଢା ତ
words, but will that be enough
ଆମେ
against
ସବୁ
all
ନା
that
ତୁ
LATAM firepower?
नहीं, ଆମେ
Everyone,
ସବୁ।
let's welcome
ନା, ନା,
GE
ନା,
and
ମୁଁ କେବେ
LEV to
ଯାଉନି।
the stage.
ତମେ ଯାଉ ନା କଣ ଛଡା କି
Please welcome Global
यस
Esports
चलो
LEV.
विमान ଗୋଟେ ପ୍ରାକ୍ଟିସ କରମ ଏମିତି ଆମେ ଦେଖିବୁ ତ ଏମିତି
ମୁଁ ବି ସ୍ୱପ୍ନ ଦେଖୁଛି
ଆଉ
ଗୋଟେ ପୋଟଳ ଏମିତି ରୋଲ କରିକି ଆସିବ
ଫୋଟୋ ସରି
We've got LEV facing Global Esports today. We
Come
have
on.
high expectations from both of these teams. We get LEV, the youngest roster here with insane firepower, going against Global Esports, the mixed
Appa.
Pacific, with everything to prove.
Yeah, it should be a banger here. I think this is my favorite matchup of the tournament so far, and the map veto itself very interesting. GE picking that pro, not surprising to me, but LEV going to the fracture. Another series where we're seeing in my opinion quite an unconfident fracture pick here. LEV weren't looking amazing on it, playing a very strange composition. GE could take this in two with this map veto.
Oh, okay. I like what you're putting down here, Vinny. I think for me, it's interesting that Lois was
Johnny.
floated when we consider that being Lev's insta-ban all throughout their time in Americas here. I think as well for GE, I'm intrigued to see what they pull out, man. The amount of comp changes that they have from week to week to week. Let's see what they're cooking.
Now, a lot of us are talking about the two coaching styles from Owner and Frost, the Annie Stratter and the guy who always has set strats. But Minnie, what do you make of that? Is that really the thing that we should be looking at here?
Yeah, absolutely. I think for LEV, it's how much time have they had to go away and add some layers to their set strats, because over time they usually get a little bit readable. Sometimes I can watch a mod from a month ago and it's still doing all the same stuff. So have they been able to change some of that stuff? Because Pat and Frost, every time I hear the comms, Pat is immediately saying stuff. Like, it looks like he is part of that anti-strat system, making a lot of those reads. So I absolutely think that is the narrative strategically for this game today.
And Billy, earlier you were talking about GE's style here. The thing is, they often boast that they have multiple comms per map prepared. Do you think that's a real thing and that's enough to take on LEV?
Let's see if they can do it on the global stage. That's what I'm saying. In a regular season, when you have week to week, 100% do your thing. Anti-strat specific compositions for specific teams on certain maps. But coming into this stage where you're playing back-to-back days, it's a completely different game. I will be very impressed if they're able to have that kind of turnaround at the global stage.
Let's see what agents they will be bringing out today. But whatever the case, for either team, we can see a new legacy being developed from this very moment.
Yeah, I think we're talking about agents. I think that it's going to be very similar. They're very confident on this map of the Killjoy, just a very kind of standard composition. On the left side, the double Judas in the chamber. That is their bread and butter. Starting on the defense side, that is where it's going to be a little bit stronger with that chamber getting some picks.
Yeah, we're going to see a Neon head-to-head here on both sides. An agent that we said that we potentially expect to see a bit of a decline on, but I guess with it being Pearl, this is okay. This is all good. I think Neon being on that operator, especially starting on this defense,
Neon kind of
what do Global Esports actually have to be able to isolate that weapon out of place when you're considering the utility, not having for the fake. I'm expecting to see Neon pop a lot of the time here.
Nah, Immortal.
I agree with that too. The fade isn't the best
Requirement Immortal.
that B long control. The chamber can avoid some of those paradox and ice. So big pressure for me, Global Esports this fight. Deal with Neon's chamber.
Yeah, that is definitely the question of today. I'm not sure how this is going to pan out, but whatever it is, the fans are absolutely excited to see these two teams go head-to-head. All right, to take us through this electric face-off, we got Mitchman and Tombiz.
Thank you, Victoria. An electric face-off indeed, Tom. Certainly a lot to be excited about, but I gotta say the biggest surprise. We're getting Neon on both sides. We're used to seeing that. But evidently not in this matchup.
Yeah, clearly both teams feeling confident. Neon, of course, a lot of those rotations will be a little bit slower. The jumping might not be quite as much. I don't know if you're going to see shotguns there quite as often, but we'll get to see if it's going to work out for both of these squads.
Mumbai server chal out सब server तो ओडी नहीं normal gun Mumbai server कहीं से मने हाँ
सबो लगे रहे ये बदनाम
हेलो
अरे नहीं मु मैक्सिमम देखते अलग सर्वर रे ओडी नहीं होजे नॉर्मल गन किंतु हम मुंबई सर्वर रे
chat देखिबो नो स्ट्रीमर वाला chat डिसेबल कर रखते हैं
see that quite often with the Phoenix in play, but patiently waiting. 3 players on this side, that double duelist that will be spoken about a lot throughout this series. Sato waiting on that cross with King alongside him. They're just going to run this straight in onto the fight. Yudoton to start, and Autumn there alongside him. In fact, it's going swimmingly for the side of GE. All 3 players taken out and the rotation quite far away.
अरे
देखा स्टार्ट जो कला
Shut down GE flooding the site and now blows in Neon.
सी जो देला 81 पे देला सिटी रे 1 पे देला ऊपर हेवन दे
already taking. They have no notion where these attackers can be. The reveal will help for a moment. C1, C2, but then
ए ताकर भी मिस हो जी देखे शॉट मिस हो जी ने
to give GE a 1-0 start.
अरे सिम्मन कितना प्रेशर रे खेलुଛନ୍ତି
I want to go back to something that was touched on by the desk as well when building into this matchup, where it's like I think at the beginning of the day you were asking me who was favored in this matchup. I'd slightly give it over to Leviathan. I think they've been a very strong
कितने शीघ्र सीन शूट हो रही है
to in America's the second time around. On to the veto, I'd now maybe go the other way. I think the fact that obviously G floated Fracture was almost like a ball to a red flag. I think this first map also favors GE, so it really could be an opportunity for them to 2-0.
Pacific's number 3
ए
certainly
इथे सब ये ଅଛି मल्ला ये
just in the veto, but even starting this map, that said, Leviathan, they pushed up A as 4. Found the solo player Crystal, who was supposed to contain. And as a result, there's not really much of a choice but to finish this B hit. The good thing is, though, nobody is here. The site wide open. And GE will have themselves a post plan. And now those pistols, with GE having the option to play a bit further back, hold those chokes, those pistols are going to find it very difficult to find value.
And Neon becomes the major danger in this moment. Or maybe no. Glow's already finding one. Making this seem dangerous. Patman under pressure as well. The shot's not quite landing, but his teammates are there to support. Even still, it comes down to one. Utkal to try and save them from around. This should have been easy. His opponent's above him, and the classic close him out. Any other would have denied the Red Bull clutch.
भाई बंची गला यार
Keeps them alive.
भाई बंची गला ये बीच कर दला ऊपर चढ़ गई
50 खांदा पे भाई
Should have been an opportunity to thrive. Clutch needed a 1v2. And a well-placed shot from that headhunter or a right-click landing would have changed the story at the start of this map entirely. GE with a lifeline early on. They'll hold on to their lead. But for Leviathan, that tells them that when it comes to pound for pound, they might be in with a chance.
Well, yeah, look at the purchase that comes up. You normally expect a little bit more from a bonus round. It's the 3 rifles invested into 2 pistols have to be brought through, so it definitely gives the defenders a great opportunity. And with already aggressive ground picked up on the B side, they can stop the gamble back. They're pushing it towards Art though, and those fights haven't gone their way. It's Crystal to pick up 2 and leave. Blows the lone defender. His teammates sprinting to try and save him, but there is no one to be saved. In fact, the only thing that can be saved, Mitch, is those guns. They have to bow out.
What a crazy switch up between the rounds, Tom. The last one,
zero map zero map pick na
pistols. And granted, Lev had a very good eco strat, pushing one side of the map as 4, and then playing the retake together, using that neon wall to get out to make the elevation not as much of an issue when you've got players down below. I loved it. And then they get run down in this round. Crystal's got 2. He's out looking for more, farming up those orbs, and he might have a chance to take another weapon out of the hands of these LEV players. They'll clear the spawn. I think he'll have enough time to walk right into this fight. Neon only needs to land 1 shot, and there it is. It's a headshot, clean as can be. You'd think at this point those weapons would be held onto, and it looks like they will.
Very good start. I think also the people may be thinking Neon. The agent is dead. Might start to question things with the start that attacking map just sliding into the angle, absolutely doming.
और map pick up भी जी
A huge couple of openers for him in the moment, putting them into a 3-0 start. Of course, this is their map choice, but I think that is the big talking point. Is we're going to look at both these squads and go, okay, what have they fixed on Fracture? Because it's not a particularly good map for either of them, and if we can see GE get off to a strong start on their own choice, which they are favored on. It almost feels like a 50-50 second map. This, though, is an aggressive build, but so much information already found out by this attack. A lot of utility being put into play, but Spike has managed to do well.
Have they done enough? Sato still needs to get out of there, just about falls back to the B side. Okay, safe as can be. It was a little spooky at the start. Obviously, Chamber can get out for free once challenged, but not revealed behind the wall. And it looked like we could have had a much worse fight on their hands.
अच्छा तांकर हो माने साइड होल्ड करे वाला एजेंट थे के ना ना चैम्बर अछि
Push out on mid.
एजेंट हिसाब रे नहीं प्लेयर हिसाब रे अछि ओ प्लेयर को साइड होल्ड करियो
ये देसे पसियल
फाइनल दरकार नहीं ताको एएम रे सब
Any push up, and I actually quite like this. I was going to question whether they'll run it back in this round. Just allows them to clear the site, at least mostly for free. The defenders have already gone for the zone. Of course, for Neon, he's now out of headhunter bullets, so his danger should be reduced. It should be reduced, but he still manages
ये किए वाला क्लासिक रे
the low buy round.
क्लासिक किए वाला
Seeming quite damaging for the side of GE, but when you win the last buy round so quickly,
ये कौन
it
सब
doesn't matter
हिमांशु
as much.
Well, that's it. They're doing a
How
really
do
good
they
job, rounds, but a much more difficult job in what should be
money road
easier, more of a level playing field.
Omen.
For Leviathan, that's the one thing that
Yeah.
taken away so far is those eco rounds have been
Nah.
very well structured.
Well,
Even here,
PC.
the drone going out, you know that that's going to draw a lot of eyes, probably from the Phoenix as well, but it's combined with that art re-aggression, so everybody's looking towards the spawn, and you can overwhelm with the numbers.
भाई नियॉन थोड़े भी मरी नहीं
For a couple of kills, but Leviathan chipping
Zero
away
death
isn't going to
करो.
work as GE find a 4-0 lead, and the shots don't land right away for Chamber, who is Neon.
Neon को मेरे गोटे ना
See how GE handle this.
साइड नहीं हो लेने बोलो मल्ला
ଏଥିରୁ କେତେଟା କୋରିଆ କେତେଟା ଚାଇନା
से कोरियन टा बता
कोरियन सब
बैटमैन सिंगापुर रो क्रिस्टल रशियन
ଅଟମ୍
जावी बोधे हाँ उड़ाटन टा भी ये
कोरियन वाला लाଗୁଛି
कोरियन टा हाँ
कोरियन बा हम कहले बा कोरियन
साइड रे जाने
And that's the thing, like you play these slow
save
rounds,
गले
you give players like
करिबो
Neon an
नियॉन
opportunity
को
to
ऑफ अछि
try
ऐसे कोन
and
करियो
catch somebody. You go for these
बाड़ा धोई की।
fast-paced hits into the A side like that.
भाई नियॉन थोड़े भी
They have
मरी
to
नहीं
react fast enough to try and deny you. 5
अब
and 0
काइना
start
लोग को मैंने
on the
नियॉन के
attack
नहीं होते
side for GE.
मूवमेंट में
They
बड़ा
are flying.
The question is, when
Stop
do we see a
only
timeout
कुत्ते थोड़े
now? I
मर
mean,
नहीं
it's
सी
apparent that when it comes
Now,
to
I
buy
think-
rounds,
ये
they're
तारा
the ones that
टीम सपोर्ट
are
भयंकर
really
तो बोला
holding the
थोड़ी
reins with
पक्का
both hands,
है
and they're
Isa.
holding on tightly.
अरे,
Leviathan need to wrestle
अरे ये कौन सब
away
उतरे
from them, and you're dead
How
right.
many
Timer
ultimate
paused, and I assume that's going to be
rounds?
Leviathan taking a
Dita
moment
hunde.
to reassess
Dita.
the game plan so far. This is, of course, GE's map pick, so it's not the end of the world for the series
No.
overall. But like you said, Tom, with how this veto has panned out, G having this strong of a start is
मते
definitely
तीन
worth
तीन
it.
पॉइंट प्लस
I feel
मिलला
like Fracture's going to be
स्पाइक विषय ना
easy.
कूद रोड मारतिली
Yeah, I think as
Spike
well
is
when you
ready.
have those youngsters on your side, like we're talking
Can't
about a
be
team that's
पकड़ने
like 18, 19-year-olds, and then the
Practice
IGL
is
being
good,
an old 24. It kind of does feel
ଏଟା
like you need
ହାତ
to
ଝାଳି
stop
ହେଲାଣି ମାନେ
bleeding
ଫୁଲ
earlier,
ଏସି
because
ଭିତରେ
they are just getting used to this stage, getting used to
डरी गलेनी
dealing with
पूरा
these internationals. And of course for Neon,
भाई एटा पूरा अटैकिंग
Coinbase
मैप
win condition, a man that has been talked about an awful lot. I'm sure you could take that across
ଶୁଣ,
any
ତାଙ୍କର
member of
ଜିର
this
डिफेंडिंग रे
young stars,
କେଜେ ଅଛି
but
ଗୋଟେ
has
ସାଇड
been
ପୁଣି
a slow
ଆଷ୍ଟ୍ରା ବି ଗୋଟେ
start
ସାଇड
the
ରଖିବ
entirety of the
डिफेंडिंग
team.
ରେ
Sato as well, 1 and 5, someone
जीरो
who
जो 12 जीरो
भाई
कर कौन
तांकर ये
since
जानते
being
कि
in this
नियॉन
roster. And I
नियॉन
think
भयंकर
for
प्लेयर
Owner, this is the moment to go, okay,
Neon
maybe it's
कौन
not
करेगा?
even about like strategy or what our opponents
ओनर
are
बारह
doing.
जीरो
भाई
गले?
स्टार्टिंग रे
We're not
सुनो
even
ना
hitting our shots at the moment.
12-0
Not to
बारह
zoom in
जीरो
too
कर देले
much
आ कौन
on
तमे
Neon,
करियो
but that has
सेठी
been an issue
Yeah,
for him. You see some
बारह जीरो
of the
है।
moments where he's usually so reliable. He'll go a couple rounds without a kill, but when they come to his side of the map, he farms.
मैं मत तो
And
लगे
it's
था
not been the
Leviathan
case so
जीतियो।
far. A couple of missed shots, pressure applied by GE, and there hasn't been a
एठी
response
जाने के
from
मरिबो
Leviathan.
काना
That
ये
should all
आप आगे
change
बची
now as the
चैम्बर बगेरे
pause concludes. The barriers go up once more, and hopefully we see a
Ready
better
chamber
face
नहीं।
from Leviathan. Still with a full buy,
से
there will be
कोडी
a shotgun
लेबेथन
and play
धरी
of
से
spikes
कोडी
in.
से कोन कोजी देखो ना से ए रहउचंती ए बी रहउचंती से कोजी
Well,
गोटे
Neon
मरियो
is the one
लेबेथन
drawing my eye,
मुझको
but he's
देखी
on the
थी,
other side of the map.
absolutely.
GE are putting pressure on B at least to start.
Immediately. Lockdown utilized.
Time
to go in,
wala spray kori jaldi.
Stray shots can connect, but
आ गोटे अल्ट हबो
look at the
फेड रो
spike. They are not committed to this B site just yet. I maybe even trying to catch out some of the
Finally.
rotations. In fact, they're trying to pincer in on them from behind, catch them where they know they've pushed. A good stun though will at least slow things down a little bit. The overdrive used to try and pad some of that damage, but even still,
Doji.
that opening kill has gone in the other direction. However, Spikes in has managed a trade.
That's just pressure on the Crystal. It
Mala
has to
Mario.
go the way of Leviathan. So they had that
Polila.
advantage, at least avoiding it. No punish could be fine. But Crystal now has the option to take that space a little bit
Here's
later.
the Purada
Heard the Neon
check
running away. Knows the
Man.
B side is
They're
now
gonna
much more
re-hit.
open, but there's going to be a fake from Autumn attempting to mislead this defensive side, and it has worked perfectly. He hasn't even made noise just yet.
भाई
Clearing
बढ़िया
the A
pick कर ले
side
यार।
completely. The Spike still doesn't know which site would be
Total
easier
side
to
change.
hit, but finally
ଦେଖିଲ
settled
କୋଉଠି
on
ଅଛି
Leviathan.
ସମସ୍ତେ
बाउर से मरिबे से मरिबो फिनिक्स मरिबो
Gets a kill as well.
भाई
GE with a big leg up now.
Well, yeah, that was
Oh,
down.
की shot में।
You saw his teammates stop because they go,
भाई
They're not here,
They're
they're
not
not
here,
there.
so they must be somewhere else.
इसी
And Autumn is now
side
just
change
the
को
ultimate
लुच्ची को ले
backstab.
बीरे
Looking to try and group up.
Mari,
Crystal
Mario.
has taken so much
Suba
space
Mario.
already, and Sato is completely unaware. They are playing them
भाई
like
से टेंशन नहीं लेनी
a
चाहिए
team known
Molla.
these set strats, these setups, even in their retakes,
Se
are
dori
not
galeni.
allowed to do so because G are just playing with their minds and they have to save none of those weapons.
ये भाई तांकर हालो सुखी हेलानी कैमरा देखाउ दिए देखि देर कैमरा दे देता
Leviathan's coach booth. You call a timeout, and the game plan is where you get diffed. The pressure put on towards the double doors gets Neon to walk up in art. You lose your chamber, you lose that hold. What did we just talk about? He's going to be the one containing one side of the map and showing up when he gets challenged. And instead, his sight falls, and it ends up being used as a ruse. GE playing a better game, plain and simple, and Leviathan falling miles behind. Now even facing an eco as well. There are some pieces here. Some less now.
बस
Isalla.
Utkal Neon when it's been needed, which hasn't been the whole time, but he is 10-1 right now. Utterly dominating him well.
Where
It's at least not going to be flawless. That's about all you can hope for on the G side. And just look at the way they fall back as well.
भाई किसी को ही वो नहीं गेम में भाई
Too mad at
रही
having
जाओ
sort of going for the
अरे
swing.
12 भी कम बैक है ची
Look at the current scoreline.
पीआर एक्शन आ कार उठवा 12 ना कितरो कम बैक कर दलो पछे
There's
ने
always elements of confidence that have to be in play, but I love seeing a team that's ahead playing like they're behind. It's exactly why you can see players sometimes have chances pulled out of thin air, and a few more shots in the bag, and that could have been the round. But King 5 HP now. He surely has to go for the save. A nice try, but I
He would
don't
die
think
to the blaze.
yeah, exactly. It's not quite enough to put the win back in Leviathan's sails just yet.
रीलोड पड़ेसला दरा ना
नहीं भाई
Trying to pull them back in.
जेनरो
I
पैसा
like
देखो
it. They're just throwing a piece of
General पैसा
utility
देखो
out to try and do
कितना
damage,
है।
but I think we are well past the point of damage. The credits booming.
Pit
You're gonna
man
have
रट्ठा हो
multiple
जा रहे
players
यार
coming back up with max credits on the side of
आठ
GG.
चारी
And it feels like for Leviathan, they need that swing round. They need something to enlighten the
हाँ,
flame
keyboard
of this
देख
spot,
लो,
because
किम
that's
हुआ
what we
जी?
talked about when watching them in Americas, is that flair, that level of
Almost
aggression, individual brilliance.
Logitech.
I think Neon and Sato especially have been highlighted a lot
Yes, sir.
for the fact they could take over rounds. Right now,
movement
they
are
are
बढ़िया
utterly diffed.
Bro, he turned from
काम करते हैं बहुत hours
before he even before he even knew it was coming. He turned from the Phoenix flag. If you're Leviathan right now, every single thing you do, you feel like your comms are being leaked to GE. Like they know they're ahead of the play every time. They're pushing the right spot, they're pulling the right rotations, and they're punishing every mistake. This attack side looking clean, and that's the orb Autumn was looking for in that last fight of the previous round. He's now got the run it back online again, making what has been an easy attack side that much easier in this round.
Full rotation back across the map. Now there is an implant in play. Neon has pushed out
से
mid.
पूरा ऑप्ट को इवेट कर दो जंदी भाई वाह
But instead, it seems like they found the gap again. There's only one player towards this A
What
side
the
of the map.
fuck?
Blows just having to
legendary
sit
gameplay
all the way back, and he's calling for those rotations. You can see it immediately. They know that this is going to have some direction to it. The run it back, clearing out everything. Only the back of the site left unchecked, and there's nobody in it anyway. A post plant guaranteed, but a player following it up. Good drone though. They've at least spotted it, but Utkal is not falling back. He wants to fight this.
It looks like he's having fun as well, but now the ults from Leviathan end up playing against him. Autumn's taking him twice in a number of seconds in a 3v3 once again, but all hope is not lost for Leviathan just yet. They still have 3 to fight. They still have the off posted, the head under to fall back to, and the advantage now in their hands. A chance to push this
ना ना ना
with
बने
just
हवन
one standing in their way and
ये टाइम अच्छे है जो
They desperately needed that.
रेडिन ये पे से निश्वास मारला
To get that round on the board, and even just looking at the HP, look how close it was. 8 HP, 9 HP for Neon and Blows. As they finally managed to come out of one of them. The combo of 7 in a row has been broken, but of course, and this isn't going to blow anybody's mind. There's plenty of credits. GE to come back into this one. The good thing though is in terms of the
किच्छी खाई भी नहीं
they used
इच्छा उनका
some of them in the last couple of rounds, whereas that Hunter's Fury and Tour de Force could still be used.
Well, it looks like mid-fight is the game plan for Leviathan, wasting no time. They're already up in top mid, looking for the fight on the Crystal. Gets dropped by the Hunter's Fury. but it ends up being an immediate trade and still pushing up Asado.
Kaichi.
Headshot immediately delivered, and he will be bailing out of there, taking a little heal from his wall as he goes. But all aggression sent the other way by GE, at least to start this round.
Yeah, GE have done well to soak up that pressure. I think there's a very real chance they come out of that.
କହିଥିଲି 7 ରାଉଣ୍ଡ ବେଳକୁ ଗେମ୍ ଚେଞ୍ଜ ହବ ଚେଞ୍ଜ ହେଲା କି ନାହିଁ
not just shying away from these fights considering the scoreline. Sato of course
वेट करचंती पॉसिबल लास्ट टाइम 30 सेकंड रे
अडैप्ट कर दे रहे ना गेम
Gonna try and fight this. The flash, it's good, but even again, it's just an immediate trade. Patman so quick with it, and they're still putting pressure on other parts of the map.
Mario, Phoenix Mario.
Oh, he knows there's a man around this corner. He was reloading. That's the man advantage in favor of Leviathan. And now for the remaining members of GE, they have to go on a long rotation back towards the B site.
I've seen this as well. You lose your player A main, keen to put some pressure, but they don't run straight into the site. You're still seeing Leviathan have players across the map, as you said, on double doors where King found that kill. And Neon stood up here in heaven. Even with the smoke, there's an angle, and the shot lands clean as can be. Patman, man who was doubted. And I'll doubt it this 1v3. Looking to be near impossible now that Leviathan have woken up. It will be on his shoulders to put them back to sleep.
1v3
Doesn't go swinging before his teammates arrive. They were waiting for the dart to come back online. Now they know exactly where their opponent is. He's even going to get picked up by as well. That'll make it all too easy. I said it. That one round just seems to have immediately flipped. So confident that they actually played in that moment.
मुझे कान्ने रे पड़िथिल म जोर रे सुदाला
Yeah, absolutely. It's just calming the nerves after what was a really rough start to the half. But there's still time for this to come back in their favor. Look, a 7-5 coming out here. A damn sight better than what it looked like. And the most important thing for me, Tom, is from that first round win, you can see Leviathan. The energy's not gone anywhere. They're not counting themselves out of this.
We saw the content piece earlier with Jem. Sado said he's gone in for that number one. I think it's always going to be difficult to beat Yetha. It's one thing he definitely does better than anyone else. And again, we're going to have this early contact. Operator Saddam King's done well. The spam finding Autumn. He has been a nuisance for them so far. But there is a second layer as well. Dead on.
He mustn't have been fully planted his feet on the ground at that point. Utkal in danger. King steps through the utility. Finds himself.
Number hogi deje thara.
So slow and patient. Maybe a little bit too slow now. The lockdown comes in.
बहुत aggressive
very early indeed.
Yeah.
I think the play is going to have to be concede the site. Let that clock run down a little bit further and retake after.
I like this from Patman. You think that maybe they won't be this close, and because of that, he's reclaimed the space. Immediate trade, and another one to Spicy. It's going to come down to 1v1. Crystal just waiting patiently, expects his opponent to swing. Already gets it to half, but it's Crystal once again. They're not going to allow their opponents to bring this back to 5, as he'll take it 8-2.
It was a tough start to this map for Crystal. Round 2, he got ran down by a classic and taken down, but I think immediately after that it was a 2K. He started to look confident, and now he's had 2 big rounds under his belt. Hammering Leviathan into the third, 8-2 now. And a big gap between these teams. The half, though, not settled just yet. Full start to come online in favor of Leviathan. Last time, albeit that Sato thrown his life away. He punished it right away.
But look,
9-3.
we spoke about this. The Death spoke about it. It is the team with the set plays versus the team with the counters. They're just waiting it out, but Neon doesn't go anywhere. He keeps that space. Utkal gone.
देखिलु हिमांशु चांबर नबो ने सब एग्रेसिव आगुआ जीवो गोटे स्टेप पछर बेट करी के खेलु
मुंग पछर रे म आगु देबा
तो आगर रो गेल करू
right afterwards
सी कोइला आगु जाई खेलिबा एग्रेसिव
immediately just falls back looking for that contact, but you've only seen one player. It's not going to get the rotates out of you just yet. GE close in the distance. Prowler, he'll draw the rotate in from Spicy, but he is gone. Nice shot from Patman. Great stun as well. Followed up. That's utility from Javi finding a huge mark in this round. And a 3v4 retake, but the numbers, they could be equalized here, but from Autumn and save the day! Neon's left alone, and it's not a pretty situation.
नियन तो देखु त फेस एक्सप्रेशन रे देखु भाई देह मुडे झाळ वारी लेंदर
individual brilliance and flair from these GE players. It's something that I love the fact that we're hearing it from himself in those interviews, that when you go back to some of the moments in the last team, he had to be more supplementary in Paperex. He had to help others. He had to almost be the safety net to what is the manic craziness. Now in this team, he can be more aggressive. He can take more space. He can almost be that superstar when they need him. And this round, it was just him walking in, hitting a crazy shot and getting the opener into the site for Neon. Oh,
बढ़िया शॉट एटा
expect to see, unfortunately, too late.
बढ़िया शॉट मारला एटा
Won't be able to hold on.
तावरे किछि हबो नै कोबे बाय अछि.
Not going to care about the personnel losses. They can comfortably buy back up. Whereas that operator, okay, there's a tour de force, but it won't be an operator alongside it.
At least a tour de force and a rifle drop to a teammate. It's something, but a silver lining on a very gray cloud at the moment.
ये
भाई काहे से भाषा वाला सोची उसी.
And double digits possible for GE at the halftime. Leviathan certainly come in here with a high bar. After that performance in Americas, they could be coming out as #1.
They very nearly did.
A pistol round could have swung it, but now it seems like they've fallen so far behind what seemed to be playoffs that they were destined for.
छाड़ी की जाऊ नहीं हिटा.
Rising to the occasion. No doubt about that.
Oh, but
खाई देला.
Neon already forced back. You are divided. It definitely seems like they've caused him a lot of issues throughout this game, not just able to sit on these aggressive angles and find players. Sato, again, only going to get one. The trading from G has been perfect, and every time it seems like he's posted on an aggro angle, there's somebody just ready to put utility into his face, making that superstar look null and void. And Utkal, he wanted to try and catch him before he could flee. In fact, they're all getting aggressive. Pushing into the hands of Neon. This round will be claimed
9-3
by Leviathan.
9-3.
But they are still very, very far behind.
Oh, there is a lot of work to do
when
it comes to the second half, but we saw some sparks towards the end of this one. Some decent rounds from Leviathan.
नियन टा चांबर भलो खेलुछि ना
with a big lead at halftime. We'll see if Leviathan can bounce back after the break.
याको कॉल रे तांको सुबा जाउ न थबो
ना ना जो साउंड ये वाला ये लागि छ ना हेडफोन टा आ साइड रे लोक एते जो चीयरिंग होते सेरा पुनी असुविधा न ग्लोबल स्पोर्ट्स प्रोफेशनल गवर्नेशन नो
लागु जी हां
फ्लॉलेस हबो सेकंड हाफ रे मते के लागुनी
हबो
फ्लॉलेस एला बले लागुनी हो देखिए पता एस मार नो ए पळेला काई एस मार गेली
चेंज करियो बाबा
फ्लॉलेस नो मारिच देखिया कोन छी
पाई जी
फिर भी ते आडसो
कितने मिनट
40 सेकंड
हो
चलेंदी कथा ना
अब भाषा सोदा से दिलन से
आईपॉड कॉल फॉर टुडे है कि कौन चलला एलएफजी
एलएसजी पळैलानी घर
ए केडे एलएफजी लिखि दला नो एंड नो
ते 13-5 ना 13-5 होने क्लोज टिके जीवो मैच कबाब अकाउंट लॉगिन कबाब व्हाट इज कबाब
कबाब से जो चिकन रो जोटा कटाई हुई सेटा कोइला प्रांच गई एते शीघ्र आयला
गोटे मिनट बा
I think it's time to start worrying for Leviathan in this series.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like especially with Fracture being such an
first round मतलब ये जीतिबो
with it being left
Attackers
over, we have
जीती
the
जीवे
expectation that G will have changed stuff, but there can be the same expectation
पूरा
on the
गुट्टे
other
राउंड
side for them to have picked it. So it might not be a death sentence, it's just worrying.
तो गोश
Because you're
गोश किन
basically going to
बगिंदी
be seeing
केजे गुरा छाड़ी देचंदी केजे गुरा ये छाड़ देचंदी
teams making their
आता यूटिलिटी अच्छी सब
wrong. That could be a huge problem.
देखिए केजेरा परिस्थिति कौन
केजे को
होची
ए छाड़चंती से जेतले ए आसीबे से फॉल बैक कर दिबो और रोटेट करके
देख
रोटेट करबे
देख के जे पोजीशन कोआडे होची देख पछरे बहुत पछु पड़ेला
हां बे से रिट्रीट करबो टीम पे वेट करबो तबे रिटेक करबे
नहीं हमर के जे कोन करियो
केजे किए
ए माने एपुडू बैक स्टेप करलेनी 3 जण बाप रे
केजे पूरा एंट्रीटा रोकी देला जे तो पंत तार पूरा टीम रोटेट करिनी
मल्ले माने मल
माने
अटैकर्स को फाटिबो
अटर सेपुडू खाइबे एपुडू भी खाइबे बाकी 8 रे के ना दे
ये जानी साइलेनी अटैकर्स जानी
साइलेनी नियन स्लाइड करिवो नियन स्लाइड गला साउंड हवनी
अरे से प्रेशर दोचंती ताले पछुरा आराम से जाई परिबे
साइड के उठा खाइबो
ए हे
ई भाई
वाह
सिया बाहर ना
तो रोटेट केंद हुए रोटेट करी केंद खेल हुए
देखलो तो ऐसे पछरे साउंड
मुंह को केजे खेले
ताले मेन रो आसी परंती
मुंह को केजे खेले मत कहजो केजे खेली आ सेंटर खेले आगुर खेले
अरे ई को एडी कीबोर्ड होई जी हमर को एडे हेजी कीबोर्ड
मेकानिकल कीबोर्ड बा
एटा 60% ना कोन
हां 60% जोटा कि ए टू जेड जोटा आ एंटरटा सेति दियो हमर जो एक्स्ट्रा जो होम प्रेस है ये आरो कीपैड यार किछि
आगो पछो
ओ भाई
कोन एमिति कोन डोमिनेट करचंती भाई माने
अब
तांकर मैप पर
मार पेरी गोटे लागु नै
जी आज पूरा फॉर्म रच पूरा फॉर्म
बरा
बर्थडे हो पूरा
मेन होची तांको मैप रे एमाने केमि सेटा सबुटु मेन
ता ऑल
तांको मैप ते हम डोमिनेट कर देले तांको मैप पे तांकर कमबैक हे जिवो थर्ड मैप से जीति जिवे
कॉन्फिडेंस पळे आसीबो ना
हां
विल एनी प्लेयर गेट 3 मोर किल दिस राउंड और 15 कौन लाउजी यस ना नो
कोन
विल एनी प्लेयर गेट 3 और मोर किल दिस राउंड अराउंड
लागु नै ना तांको बाय अछि अटैक सब करे जीति बारन दीटा
ऐसा मु चॉइस के लिए पळेला जाओ
If this is the region diff, I think we're in trouble. Nonetheless, for Leviathan, we need to see a little bit more.
और नहीं पड़ेले
ये को लैंग्वेज कथा होंदी
के जान इंग्लिश
हां इंग्लिश में सब देशर कथा होंदी
ना ना
रशियन बदे जानले
ये अलग कंट्री केंदे बुझिचंदी पूरा
अबे कपा से समस्त गोटे कंट्री रो
ओहो खाली जी रे सब अलग मिसा मिसी कथ
इंडियन टीम पर पैसा देखी
इंशाल्लाह
and now look to switch to the other direction, cutting off that entire middle of the map with the Killjoy utility down, leaves Javi in a spot where his back is open, so he pushes forward, finds one, but now he's surrounded.
देखिए
मारिबो
He's got a teammate though. Utkal has managed to move to the back of the site. They're going to try and cover
Mario.
but there is that backstab from Neon, and they clear Utkal at the same time. Solid work from Leviathan. For Autumn. Even saving the gun a little bit low.
तो कदले बेटर हवो पैसा भी
अच्छी तो पैसा अच्छी
2000 अच्छी दे आ पाके नहीं पैडमैन पाके नहीं
कहियो से करछि से
सेविंग कला
या राउंड अच्छी से आराम रे खेली
हां हो 11-3 हेची आपरे ओडिन बाहरियो
ए ब्रॉक को डाकी दो ब्रॉक को डाकी दो
बहुत बढ़िया गला भाई याको डिफेंडिंग स्टार्ट टा बढ़िया गला दीटा जितते होले
ऐसे फ्लॉलेस टा से यस रे आसिला बेसी ना हमें नो मार देले बेकार वाला
न कहउछि तुमको आसियो बोली मु के ना कहली मु थोड़ा ना कहिछि केसुई कहले ना
कौन के कहला ना
हां तमे ना कहलो ने मु तो कहली हां आसियो बोली
ओ देखिए
फ्लॉलेस सेकंड हाफ रे
फुल राउंड 16 में 1v3
ना लागुन तो सेव करचंदी पूरा काई
Even just getting a few rounds here for the Americas number 2 might be enough to just build up that confidence a little bit, show some of that flair.
अरे
I think getting back into the match.
अरे जो YouTube रे भी लाइव करछो आरो
Before I start to believe in that.
Without a doubt, the gap is far too big. Even a look.
आसिला दल मान
फेड गोटे बाहर करियो बाहर करला नहीं
Spreading the net early, looking to punish some aggression.
Neon गोटे गाड़ी बाबा
waiting outside mid, but nothing comes in when they expect it to. And as soon as they land in the
जा को जितार उल्टा होची अरे
अरे तो प्रेडिक्शन काम करूनी तमरो
कहला अटैक कर जीतियो बोली
and that means now that the stack up is on A, and that's exactly where Levia Tanner had.
एते होल्ड कोन कर जो जाओ हां
होल्ड करी सब
ये
और से स्ट्राइक पड़ी पेरे कॉपीराइट
काहे की
नो परमिशन न भाई करचो परमिशन न भाई स्ट्रीम करचो
मो नहीं
ओके द लाल्टा एबे यार करिवो
They almost have to go A or go all the way back around the map. It's that deep position that's being held by Utkal, which could be a problem if they do.
इच्छे हवानी
Makes things interesting. 30 seconds left. They are committed to this A site now. And with no
फाइव प्लांट है
that will mean that GE can
चला
get 3 players here as well.
They've got to go soon. There's a good chance someone's
क्रिस्टल कोन मारुची हमरो हिमांशु डोन मारि थांता हिमांशु तारा वीडियो देखिला हां हां
भाई मरो रेंज बेट करची बहुत प्रबल रेंज बेट करची मरिवो ये मरिवो भाई
versus Neon, I suppose. Utkal taps the spike, tries to bait his opponent into the
भाई
leaves him on a sliver.
भाई
But Neon's still alive on the other side.
जीती जियो कहि रेडी
लेट्स गो
बढ़िया
यस रेडी अल्लाह दे गोटे की असुविधा ला गोटे प्लेयर गोटे के इंडिया नांती हो सब एक एशिया पैसिफिक हिसाब रे
इंडियन कोन खेउचंदी
ओनर
गोटे मारि फेर भी इंडिया
कोन ये जो माने सब आसी की
रेडिएंट बहुत कम इंडिया रे
एते पे किए दाई
एते पई मोदाई मु जानथली
ना ए
एते पे
मोर गोटे पॉइंट आसिला फुल राउंड 1v3 नो 3 पॉइंट आसिला
मु कहिथली
प्रोटोटा
ये सेव करचंदी बा केही 1v3 पे जाउ ना
यार एटा नो
More brute force strategy, and just look at the defense. They are on the complete wrong side of the map. You've said it. They've had the good read almost every time, Mitch. This is one of the first times they were wrong.
आंका बाके केटा अल्ट अछि गोटा अल्ट के 0
This time they're playing it more passive, knowing that they've got that lockdown to work with to fall back.
माही देला
ए भाई कोन
An aggression from Levia.
चालची ओटे खुशी हो ई साल ई हे छी छी भाई
Heavy so low, but they've made it to the spike, and now the tap comes in. Levia Tan having to swing in under pressure. King finds one, but they don't have their due.
ये भाई सारी दे लेगे
डोमिनेट भाई डोमिनेट
नाइस वन भाई
डोमिनेट
खेलुंदी रे
हां बा ई पूरा डोमिनेट कर देले कांदी पकई देबे से माने आ खेलिबे नै से
काई खेलबे आउरी दीटा मैप अछि जानि पनु ओदे
सरेंडर मार देबे
ताकर मैप ही गच्ची फेरे
रह सी देख ताकर प्रेशर मुंडरे जाया हेलेनी से जो अरे अरे ये कोन
से होती सेमती गोटे
अरे से स्ट्रेस फ्री से होबा पे आ किछ न
ला 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 कितने मिनट ना 5 मिनट बोदे
पुलिस पे आईडी फ्यूलन से क्या
तुम काई ये मारथल
हां लॉस होगला ना छाड़ा
तू तो मना करछे एरा हबनी
हां तू सबुतर कहितलु चोर कला पर जो बुद्धि আছে সেগুলা
आ मु सबुतर मना करथली हबनी बोली
तू बा कहतलु 13 सुन हबो बोली
हैं हे न था
हिमांशु कहतला 13 सुन हबो बोली ना हिमांशु कोन केजन पेट में विल बी द हाईएस्ट एस मारथली एस मारथली आउट पॉइंट मिलिला 7 पॉइंट
मु कहितले एटा
तू तो सब भाई कहिजो जोटा मोर भूल ना सेइटा तू तो अपोजिटा कहितलु जोटा ठीक है सेइटा भी तू कहितलु
अरे तुम स्ट्रीम पछु करी देखु ना मु कहितली
हाउ मेनी नियन गेट एंड
एटा एटा
मु कहितली एटा भी
एटा मु कहितली
अरे भाई तो हम बा कहिलु तू ही सब कहितलु मु तो आगुर एटा मारिथली
तमे पछु ना स्ट्रीम देखिया कि आगो कहिजी
अरे
पछु नि आ वाले जासिबो
कोन
वालो
वाला खेलिया गैम्बल खेली बोली कहउछन कोन देखिया कोन
Tired of off-season blues when the champions because VALORANT is coming to the Esports Nations Cup. Players split from
टूर्नामेंट मुंबई रे कहीं कोन ना मुंबई के दिल्ली रे के बेंगलोर रे ना हेतला केबे
about to turn every map into ranked with Team USA Ego peek every single angle.
हमर के आसीबे नै देखिया को जीबे नै
ये है बहुत पिला आसीबे रे ये कहिला आसीबे नै
तार माने ओटा पिला दरकार माने इंडिया रु कि ओटे खेलुथले ना करिवे इंडिया तो के खेलु ना आती टू व्यू द स्ट्रीम
डल 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 सो
आओ मिनट दी मिनट ना I had to do another challenge, play VALORANT. Wow.
ये सब आर प्रेडिक्शन हो जोडे ये टॉप 53 है
सबु करछि
जे देखनो 10 टा करेक्ट करछि 52 पॉइंट पाइछि
बड़ा गेम से
597 अछि 10 टा रे 6 टा तोरी पई
मो पई कोन बा 557 कोन बा
के जाने कि बुझो 597 तो कुछ ना पवन गला ओ
एटा कोन येटी फ्रैक्चर ना
तो लंदन गलुनु टिकट काटी के सेठी बसी देखथन हम एठी देखथन ए हिमांशु जे ताली गडु जे हां तो रे प्रचुर पैसा हम जानि जो
प्रचुर पैसा डोट मास्टर मागिल जे तो बाडे की सुआई देले
को दिन
आजी
को कहिले
बाडे सुआई पकेले मते कहले सोई पड़ उठिला बेले गोटे 20 टंकिया थम्स अप आनी दोचने पी
तो से स्टिंग पी देथांदो स्टिंग टा किछ खरा की एनर्जी ड्रिंक तो दरकार हो मॉन्स्टर हो कि स्टिंग हो
ईसाला मु थरे पी थली बा छोटो बळे
कोडा
बांती करि पकेली बांती स्ट्रिंग आ से तळे जो वायरल नेथिला
स्टिंग तो एबे ही बाहर जे
हां ए 3 वर्ष हो बाबा
ओ आ छोटो बळे कहू तो बड़ पिला हेलानो
से तळे कोना होई ना केते कोन बड़
अच्छा अच्छा
आ से तळे जो स्ट्रिंग नो ये नथिला की पॉपुलर थला केतल बाहर थला मु गली मु भी ट्राई करबी मु पी थलो छी
हां अरे लिखि पकेले सब गोटे
ओ तो जीती न तमे काई लिखि पकोछ बा
खुशी गोटे हो
ये भी लिखि पकोछ तुम त हल्ला काई लिखलो
remarkable game from Global Esports. Frost, I know you don't really
माने जीरो माने येटा ओन्नटाई खाली इंडियन
gotta be generous with positive energy and compliments. After what happened on that map, I feel like you guys are playing your best this year. Just look at your performance here on big stage. So tell me about what went well on Pro.
What IPL
I think a lot went well. I think Crystal did exactly what I expected him to do today. I actually really thought he was going to have the game of his life. Not only has he been clutching everything, he's just been playing so intelligently. He really helped us this game. I think Autumn stepped up big time. I think Platoon had a couple defaults which worked so well. I was very surprised that they were confused by it. But overall, I am pretty happy. The series really hasn't started yet, though. Because they're
काई किणिबो काई कि एउठो ओडिसा रो बनेक नबो हला
सेमिति न हबो जय सा दब टीम बाहर करिया पे जदी कहिबो टीम बाहर करिवो टीम बाहर कले तमे किणी की ना दबो
Welcome back. What a map 1G is.
जय सा बाबे ना ए वर्ष कहबो मु दीटा टीम नुवा बाहरिबो नुवा दीटा टीम
there you could hear Frost give a lot of credit, a lot of kudos to Crystal, which is absolutely fantastic. Crystal has been part of the squad obviously throughout the year, but we haven't been able to give him his flowers over in Pacific, and it looks like he was also saving it for the London stage.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of players on GE today that seem to step up, and I was a bit surprised. Like we said that LEV was supposed to be the firepower team. If you remove the names today, it looked like GE would have won
IPL team kini peribe
it was really nice to watch, and I think as you kind of mentioned there, Crystal coming out on top, 350 ACS on the Killjoy. That is absolutely ludicrous.
Pula tonga darkar IPL team
on the left side, we see a lot of players there like low down on the scoreboard. Those are a lot of players that you expect to just be shooting
mining
them
wala
out.
chhan janjana
Even if some of the strategy
odisha bauxite adhiko export hoye bahar ku au steel
I thought there was many instances where
steel bauxite iron
and here was one of those things.
mine wala ko
time and time again getting no value out of this chamber. I think that Frost was alluding to a platoon
चारटा खंडे जदी मिसिबे ओनर ताले केनी देबे ओटे टीम
and
चारटा जदी मिसिकी किनिबे जो जमी फमी हमने किना
got a round or two, but the fact that GE were able to deal with him so well, and then sometimes it was just him just whiffing. Like here we see him, he's going to go for a jump up.
एठी जो मिस कला एटा भारी असुविधा है बहुत मिस कर दिछ ओटा
I think
से माने बहुत ऊपर मिस कर मोटा शिक्षा कथा ऑफ केम कर जाए
bidded him as potentially being one of those rookies of the year, and I think maybe the pressure, the nerves of the stage getting to you a little bit. I think
अरे शीट तो पूरा खाली है ना पिला सब गले
really just be
and on the flip side, like GE just look really confident. Like I think there is a big mismatch in the confidence levels right now. We could put that down to the map a little bit. Like GE are much more comfortable on this map, but it does feel like it's an overall.
एक दुई करिया पे
is new to this global stage. A lot of the players in a way have a lot of experience. Maybe not global experience, but some of these members have been to other regions. They've been in the circuit.
Which player will be this 5 kill fast?
And I think that can work for you or against you depending on what kind of pressure that you end up putting on yourself. Well,
Crystal ne achi bodo form re
fast are fast
to come out swinging, and I do agree it definitely does put a lot of pressure, but when you look at the actual foundation of this level,
other pakede best Crystal form re kintu achi
that they have together, coming back
Crystal bhai ye bode chamber
खेलतला Crystal
neon खेलतला
up onto that stage and have a kind of fearless approach to the game.
KJ खेलतला neon खेलतला KJ खेली के 21 किल
अरे नाही नियॉन चैम्बर खेलुतला ता नाही नियॉन
I also want to give a shout to Utkal.
Crystal का थोड़ा बहुत शेयर कोचन में अच्छा
अरे नहीं मुझे चैम्बर किए खेलुतला
Utkal, he's one of those Korean players that no Korean org has been picking up, and all of us have been scratching our head why, because he's so talented and he really showed up for the team as well today.
Yeah, I think he really passes the eye test. Maybe sometimes the stats don't quite show it, but when I was talking about him, when I was looking at him, he was definitely doing his job very well, and today it feels like he has plenty of room to improve, and he was showing that.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you were saying, it's we're seeing a lot of the fire from that team. But I'm very curious also what LEV has to say as we send it back to the stage.
जिडू तू तो फ्लाइट रे कर दे थांदो 1.5 घंटा आसी भुवनेश्वर पहुंचतांदो कौन तू ट्रेन जुकी जुकी आसु काली परदनाडी जाई पहुंचू
What's going on and what were you guys able to address before heading into Fracture?
To be honest, it happened a lot of times in the stage 1 and also in playoffs.
पैसा काम ଅଛି ବୋଧେ shortage ହେଇଗଲା पैसा
ସବୁବେଳେ ଏଇଟା ଟିକେଟ ପ୍ରାଇସ୍ ବହୁତ ଥାଏ ଅଛି ବଡ
ସୁବା ଯାଉନି ରେ ଭାଇ କିଛି
I think that the boys are like as they play, so this is our first time here. Of course, that something like this can happen. It's not the end of the world. We know that if we so I'm confident that we can win 2-1.
Okay, thank you so much.
ये को ना 11 चल रहा है
You know owner pretty well. How do you read that?
हम प्रीमियर क्वालिफिकेशन होता है कौन ला you know attempting to get very emotive, but I think he knows how to work with these young players. It's not about necessarily shouting at them so much, just acknowledging the fact that that was pretty bad.
2028 ବେଳକୁ ଓଡିଶା ର ଗୋଟେ टीम ଯିବ ପରା
ଆମର ନେକ୍ସଟ କେବେ ଅଛି ପ୍ରିମିୟର
ଏଇ ଗୁରୁବାର ଶୁକ୍ର ଶନିବାର ଆଉ ଦିଟା ସପ୍ତାହ ଅଛି ନା
ମଙ୍ଗଳବାର ବୁଧବାର ମୁଁ ଖେଳି ପାରିବିନି
ମ୍ୟାଚ୍ ସବୁବେଳେ ମନେ ରଖା ଗୁରୁବାର ଆଉ ଶନିବାର ଥାଏ ହେଲା
Yeah, I think that I'm excited though based on what he said in that coach interview. I think the fact that he was like the best is yet to come. The series hasn't really started.
ଗୁରୁବାର ମୋର କୋଉ ଡ୍ୟୁଟି ଅଛି ମୁଁ
We
ଦେଖିବାକୁ
kind of set this global esports up as that anti-strat team and how they're going to be able to do that against a team like LEV. They're such a set strat team. How they play into one another. So yeah, I'm excited to see what he has cooking.
Yeah, Fracture is going to be pretty messy in my opinion. Again, we've said this up as the map of the tournament where teams aren't quite comfortable yet. And I would argue that both these teams
नीतीश बोली e-sports पळेला ना कोन yes हमर बा योजना अछि ओडिसा रोटे रिप्रेजेंट करा हबो
Yeah, that is definitely the big question mark. We haven't seen enough from either of these squads on this map, and I can see why you put none of the best teams on your Fracture map pick yet.
देखिए
ये
एटा लेबरेटन रो सिलेक्टेड मैप ना
ग्लोबल स्पोर्ट्स
लेबरेटन रो एटा सिलेक्ट मैप
They don't. What is King Hog? You can't quite see it yet. I think
ए जिडो एंते नाकर ओटे फोड़ोनो देखलु बोल दाओनी
it's gonna be on the guys.
दोराटी पोसोजन से क्या घरे पोसते
एरा लेबरेटन जीती जो एरा लेबरेटन जीती जो टीम रो जणा पड़छ
हम ग्राफिक्स टीम रे ओटे थिला राजेश बोली तार सुनु तार फास्ट कान रे दीपड़ फडाला तापर कि दिन पर आइला पे आईब्रो रे तापर ओठो रे नाक तळे अवश्य ने नाही ओडिसा रे बाहरु पळेली सबसे ने बाहरु पळेला आ नाही सचे एनडीटीवी रे न जे
And LEV obviously sticking with the same composition that they were running back in America. So I just know for sure Frost is sitting in that coaching booth rubbing his hands at that.
Now we didn't get to talk about predictions at the top of this match. You guys want to share what it was?
Yeah, I had LEV winning this game.
Okay.
Not anymore.
How about you, Billy? I think we both had LEV winning this game. I had LEV as the dark horse for me personally coming into this event. I am hoping that it is just a bit of first game nerves that they're experiencing going up on that stage when we consider.
Co-team favorable
Let's hope that they can be able to bring it back to at least go to a third map. I want to see a third map series.
I would love to see a third map, but I think GE is fighting. What do you think, Tom and Mitch?
ये कौन
Oh, they weren't fighting in that first map. They were slaying every given opportunity taken.
drop chatta.
That was just the start of the series. Now they have to convert Fracture, their opponent's map. And you heard it from Owner. The boys were a bit nervous. It's a young team down on that stage. But we've seen these flip-flops from one-sided maps. Great success in the next. The defensive Fracture is where Leviathan will be tested.
I don't know what they expected coming in. I don't know if they expected a Pac-Man waylay, but I'm excited to see it. No, and it's gone immediately. Sato has picked him out of the sky. They're going to go running back, but they've been locked in. Spike Zine is watching from behind. Sato already with a much better start to this map than what we saw on the last. This attack side having to run all the way back, maybe trying to bait them into the hands of Autumn. Just holding onto the space. Nothing being spotted. But that backstab would need to be incredibly impressive if it ends up as a backstab. Is he going to spot out that there's no one here and they're going to
এটা তো attacking map টা
what was happening. They left him behind so he could hear the rotates if they started to flee the site.
attacking map টা যে ये थोड़ा बैटमैन कहीं की revolutionary होने बात
on the last map they were selling fakes so well, always enticing Leviathan in. Crystal's chance to strike. He had such an impressive map.
والله खेले जे बैटमैन इसके बाद जो नहीं
good stun to shut him down, but a plant and a 2v4, it's better than it looked like.
एठी मार देले प्लांट है
incredibly difficult.
भलो खेले बैटमैन भलो बढ़िया बात है जो आज जरा हो नहीं गए.
Decided to just group up, play it together. The stun catches Harvey, but he will be better. Will be good to go. They look to try and round this corner. Will they check these more deep angles? They will, and it's Sato once again. A great round from him individually, and now Autumn has to try and take over versus 4 players. Good flash! It caught almost everybody, but 13 health, time ticking against him. And eventually he's going to need to swing out and get one of these kills. He gets absolutely nothing. A pistol round from Sato, even going to get the orb. That will be LEV.
Yeah, that will be LEV in the lead. And what a way to do it as well for Sato, picking up a 4K focus there, very much on Patman. Playing that way, surprise element certainly for Leviathan. On the other side is the one opening up this map. A strong start to the defense for Leviathan. They get sold a fake, but react perfectly, punish on that side of the map. And the opening picks were... They get their reward. It's going to be a decent buy into this round, you know, for GE. Win condition, or success condition, is just a couple of kills. It will make it somewhat costly for Leviathan if they can meet that goal. But as you can see, they're not very well armed.
I think the other side of it for GE is just orb collection.
Yeah, with the Phoenix always.
We're going to try and get as many of them as you can. They were initially challenging for that A main control, but you can see the defenders are doing exactly the same thing. Be it to build up their own ultimates, with Sato only being one away after he claims this orb, or just to make sure, as you sort of said, don't allow that Phoenix to build up anywhere near as much. For now, though, tentative in their play. Everybody's gained at least a little, but the fights will seem quite one-sided when they come to blows.
Well, if you're at least trading out those orbs, finding them early, that's fine. GE, as you said, steps closer to the Phoenix ult, but this is where things should take a turn for the worse for GE. They've had good impact to start the round. They've got their orbs. They've even got a kill. The plant's being attempted, but pushed back by salvos. Sight taken. It's definitely a bit spooky. But the Leviathan have the upper hand in almost every fight. And now
they cleared the top site, and then anybody trying to claim any weaponry is being picked off as they go. Another 1v4 being attempted, and it will not come through.
So,
great start this time from Leviathan. I think it is very important. Like, sure, it can happen. You're on your opponent's map choice, but we looked at this map of Fracture and went, this is not one of your greatest picks. It feels like you picked it as a counter to your opponents because they were not good on it either.
Final match
Now we get into
ना देखे मो कहूची ए जो नेक्स्ट कमिंग राउंड है देख स्ट्रैटेजी चेंज होगा देखियो रोटेशन खेलिबे श्योर.
Well, yeah, 4 players carrying those weapons through. I think they only lost the Stinger. Gonna be pretty happy with that.
strategy chalchi. Split khelu jondi.
Split khelaba.
So obviously some value put towards that rolling thunder in the minds of
Split khelu jondi.
See early aggression is already lined up. The reveal went up behind it. Keep pushing. It's a full southside crunch.
Nice.
To stop the
बैटमैन पूरा होगुजी
get out scot-free. Crystal.
बैटमैन कौन करिवो ऑल टावर मारे छी ओ ओरे
The Leviathan will be forced back in a 4v2. A nice attempt to make use of those weapons, but GE seemed more than ready for that pressure.
It seemed like maybe they thought the convergence part that hit more people. I think it maybe only caught the one by the time they got there and worn off, but it meant that there were spams going through those smokes. GE again, something they did well in the previous map was thrive under the pressure of what is an aggressive defense. Of course, this round expectation is still low. They didn't have the Vandals, they didn't have the Phantoms, no Operator just yet. The question becomes, how much damage can the remaining couple of players do? And I wonder if this would just become trying to catch them on the exit.
Yeah, that is probably where the most value sits. As time takes on, it becomes more apparent that is the play. Volley towards main. I like this idea, keeping them locked in. Neon wants to make this as costly as possible. As they run in through it, he gets a shot on the Crystal. Already falling.
I think that
is going to be where it ends. Holding on to the Guardian. I mean, obviously, for King. He's going to keep pushing to look for that extra kill, and in the end, well, I suppose he gets an orb.
Round clear
having the additional value into
will spike here will be this round
on the other side. I guess as well when you look and there's already the Nightfall and the
spike carrier.
You're gonna go,
this spike carry
really if I go down, Patman's too far away. Utkal is yet to get onto the board. So neither of those ultimates are particularly close. But this is where we see that first fall. Can Leviathan start off strong on the last map?
এই রাউন্ডটা কাটিলে নেক্সট রাউন্ড তাଙ୍କର ইকো ହେଇଯିବ କହିଗଲେ ଫେর ଆଉଟର ରାଉন্ড ମିଳିବ
Stunned to slow them down. In fact, it's going to be a push.
ये तो कहीं शील्ड संग खेलू नाती इरे भाई कौन है ये नाइस नाइस
making a good dent in this defense. He's taking ground on the other side. He's taking kills, but blows answers even more. Javi alone with 3 to take down. He has at least got the spike, but he hasn't got a chance.
That was fantastic. These are the sort of rounds that make you really excited about a team like LEV. The credit obviously has to go to someone like Ono, where they clearly just practice these sort of plays. Even when the Nightfall goes through on the other side, they dive over the top of it, stun into the corner as well. Then the salvos come in. Like, that is timing of goals. Like, that's exactly what we see from them on this defensive side. This isn't a team that has just picked a weakness of an opponent. This is a team that has preparation in place, and that's always been where this squad has been the most exciting.
ଗୋଟେ ଜିନିଷ ନୋଟିସ୍ କର ତାର ଗେମ୍ ଯେତିକି ତା ସହିତ ମ୍ୟାକ୍ସିମମ୍ ଅଧିକ ୟୁଟିଲିଟି ୟୁଜ୍ କରୁଛନ୍ତି
that previous round, especially considering that was the time to run it back. It was just danger. Time to face off again.
ସବୁ ୟୁଟିଲିଟି ୟୁଜ୍ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ଆମର କିନ୍ତୁ ଯଦି କୋଉ ଏଜେଣ୍ଟ ଆମର ଯଦି କୋଉ ଏଜେଣ୍ଟ ଯଦି କାହାର ଅଲ୍ଟ ଆସିଗଲା ସେକେଣ୍ଡ ରାଉଣ୍ଡ କି ଥାର୍ଡ ରାଉଣ୍ଡ ସେ यूज कला ताको 7 राउंड रे जाई यूज करो ताको
dealt with beautifully. Neon inside the smoke. He shouldn't be pushing just yet. Look at the south side of the map. So many players from the defensive side are flooding in through it, and they'll even have a chance to stop this spike plant if G were to take. Well, yeah, if they're to keep taking this.
How सब देखो सिंगल के पिक होना सब डबल पिक ना ट्रिपल पिक.
Instead, maybe planning a switch up through the spawn, but the problem is that flank has now come through. They're making the realization of, okay, we need to take some ground, and that forces their hand in towards King, who's just been waiting. That's what he's been doing the entire time of the round, just sitting there. And this is perfection from LEV. They slowly surround them. G takes just that little bit too long to get the spike plant down. And they're going to come out of this one squeaky clean.
Yeah, I think that's something G weren't expecting, to have such a heavy flank behind them that quickly. You can see they were trying to bait the salvos out, thinking that there would be a retake attempt from Leviathan from the spawn. And also, considering the round that just happened, they primed themselves for an attack, got
very confident
the ultimates and full-on aggression. Of course, they expected the faster retake, but delaying that time, running the clock down, just allowed that flank to come all the way through. So far, it very much feels like the shoe on the other foot. In the last map, G, they played the map better, but now it's Leviathan's turn.
And into our
Morera score asila ketole no choice about select korini dita select dita thik
it's the team that has the setup versus the team that has the counter. It doesn't look right now like G have the counter. They've swapped out their composition a lot. They've even put players onto uncharacteristic roles. Of course, Patman's normally someone that we see on like the initiator or controller. Like that's where he's been kind of flexing over the last few months.
G nela mo G ra jauni na setime.
But I feel like that's because LEV have had a lot of really cool trap plays, and at least with against the low buy, they weren't taking too much in terms of risks. They were surrounding them. They were very patient.
Coach se time re kichi instruction debeni na
King is on King's read.
Na dautave
very very good.
Na dautave na
ko time re
गेम टाइम हाँ टाइम रे
टाइम रे कोच माने ही नहीं होती
अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा
It looked like he was in rap god mode there. Certainly a lot of notes to hand out.
कारण सी तो दी जन को देखुथे ना गेम प्ले कोड प्रॉब्लम हो जी
दी टोटल दिगटा टाइमर था
first time in the lead in the series and they're not looking to let go of it.
मेटर कथा हे परिबे हाफ टाइम रे कथा हे परिबे
early stun.
राउंड मजा मजा कथा
देख माने को रेड
यूटिलिटी स्पैम माने अलगा प्रकार
यूटिलिटी माने ए भाई चाली गला से
भाई कौन
से क्रिस्टल जानी पर ना हो
जानी जानी सुन ठिया होची भाई ता ऊपर
क्रिस्टल पैसा नहीं छे भाई प्रो करू जी
You take a look at Autumn right now towards the B site. Maybe he has a chance to run it back, but no one to defend him. It would likely be a death sentence on Dish. Well, you're going to have to walk into the op of Shadow, which is not going to be a fun fight to take for anybody. The Cosmic Divide.
Mario.
This is where it starts. I do think we're going to see that run back put into play, but they're already a man down, and in fact, no chance to pop that ult. Neon's ahead of the fight. And Javi might even be forced into a save at this point. The credit's not looking good across the board. Carrying this rifle forward isn't exactly going to help that much, but it's probably better than throwing it away.
Again, I have to just give plaudits over to Leviathan and their sort of crunch plays towards that north side of the map. It seems like even from the two players that were there, they knew it was coming. They knew that that would be a possibility. And I wonder if there will have to be the switch up from G to almost have a mentality or even just be patient a little bit further back in the first few seconds of the round. The problem though is you look at
split यार split रे भाई हारी
मोला spawn area.
Split रे हार जीवो जी.
That you almost feel like they were left with nowhere to stand, and it's those reactive salvos coming out from blows, going like, okay, there's players here, we know where they are. Let's force them into awkward positions.
Will anyone
Communication needing to be on point, but also just those set plays out from LEV working once again.
One of the reasons that I was happy to see him try to save that in Javi's front was because they were one away from the orbital strike, but Neon's gone and found an orbit. Finding them on offer here.
Enemy remaining. Bad day boy na.
Ends up orbital strike online for the next. This is a big advantage for Leviathan in scoreline and ult economy, and so far it feels like they're miles ahead in terms of controlling the map. And even after the pause, nothing to write home about for G. The same problem there, the crunches from Leviathan working well. You said the north side crunches where they've been more impressive, but they've been very proactive even on that south side. Every round it feels like they have space that they need to take a mission objective. And so far G cannot deny those objectives. Yeah, Batman's going to have to drop out of there.
That's only a small amount of damage.
Teammate.
Thankfully, yeah.
Teammate Molly, so.
Teammate.
Spike planted.
Utility causing him a couple of issues. Of course, look at the weaponry, but Utkal. Tour de force activated. They've realized that there is an opportunity for them to take this one away.
Oh my goodness!
Nice one.
Tour de force with two, but the
Nice one.
pistols slacking in this round either. But
nice one. Flawless. Flawless.
A 3D win for 5-2. That's not the round I thought G would come out with.
Yeah, MasterCard Thrift. Give them a huge boost. Because that was the thing.
माने केते तार प्रेशर देखे एसी चाली की त मुंडो देह पूरा झाळ होइलानी
They managed to avoid a lot of that.
पैसा मिलुची
अरे सेठी एसटी चली बहुत गरम होय अवस्था
अरे भाई सेटा सेंटर एसी रहइबो न जाले भी गरम आछो नै
बहुत गरम बहुत लोग था
Those are the moments that we saw from him all the way through.
वेंटिलेशन सही से रहबो ना चारिडो कवर अछि को ओपन फील्ड है ना कोन कवर हाँ सेटा को बॉडी ओवर टेंशन है कि स्ट्रेस पूरा
Even having some support in the close corner as well from Spikesy, and he can stun them if they get that little bit too close, but for now, not giving away their hand.
Got Shadow baiting like this. First shot fired. When he falls back, they should fill that space in quickly.
Nice one.
That doesn't work for the bait play. Instead, Spikesy has to take the fight in the open. It's questionable. Maybe a little bit of patience there for Leviathan.
तो कॉले जानि छटी दिन छटा दीटा राउंड
हां से रोटेट गले ये गले बा फेक कर देले आस्त्राइना संभाल
एमन हुना होल्ड करियर जो प्रेशर सेटा बनोछन
गोटे जगह रे होउनी
हां होल्ड करियर जो प्रेशर डा सेटा बनोछन आ किछु नै
एठी जे चार जण फाइट नोछन सेठी जणे साइड ता धरि नै जाउची
It's down to 45 health. Their credits are also not in the greatest of positions, so
Save
with Neon not being able to find those picks, you have to try and give this one up. A good resurgence from the side of G over the last couple of rounds. It was looking like, yeah, maybe we get the same as the last, where they just get blitzed out of the map, but pause comes in. The operator as well for Utkal has definitely been a difference maker, but also just pushing
हाँ से तो चारी कोन धरना जने तो आकेर धरछि जने मिड धरछि जने मेन धरछि छाडी देले कोन सीधा हियो
You can understand it. They've been so confident in how they've played in the last few rounds. That's why LEV forced that issue, but then it really does put Spikescene in a spot where he kind of has to go ham there or they lose the round.
I don't even hate the walk through the smoke because he didn't know they were there, and what's been working for Leviathan, their win condition has been taking that space. As we said, start a round, they say we're going to fight here, and they fight for that control no matter what. So this time there's a bait, nobody steps into the bait, and eventually you think, okay, well, let's get our early flank going. And worst case, I pop one and get back out, but instead, the round crumbles as a result. And that's a good adaptation from G to play that much more patiently on this attack side, wait for Leviathan to make the mistake, because so far they have given you fights. This time G take them on favorable soil. It's again going to be this push.
He was blind.
Right into the operator.
I'm pretty sure he got blinded there, or more, 2 players spotted. Are they going to opt to try and flee? No, they want to try and fight this. They get that opening. Utkal has been sublime, by the way. That's the 3rd round in a row that he has found an easy pick. Well, I say easy. He was full blind and just hit the shot. But
opta bahut kam hoji na.
Stun will force them back. Nightfall. Patman has got down in response.
Gala
Try and trap them, but they've avoided it.
Kai nahi chode duelist.
Well, this is a much slower turn back to the other direction, though, from G. Might start to think that, yes, this worked before, right? Going to the A site. Look where the spike is. It might not be what's happening. But they've done this. They've faked one side, then pushed up the other. This time, Valor goes towards A. Leviathan think that the play has switched up, but they find out that it hasn't. Now a man lowered down, and the blaze covers across the site. Blows, though. Crucial kill up top. It's given them somewhere to fight from, but
खाली है ना
side नहीं गला
back to the A site. I don't know how G keep doing this, but
neon rope गस्छ ना
the ruse is sold every time.
Mala
And every time it feels like somebody is waiting for just an over-eager peak. Like you're trying to figure out where they're going. You're trying to work out the position of these players. Every time you gamble it wrong.
देख मैंने कोड बाजिला कहलु
बस ये बॉल बेंगला
His 3rd operator pick.
अंधरे बाजिला
होगा
बॉल बेंगला
ता आर्म रे बाजिला
5 by the way, while they are currently still behind in the map, he's been a huge part of this turning around.
ତାଙ୍କର ଯୋଉ ମନିଟର ଗୋଟେ ଥାଏ ରୋବଷ୍ଟ ଭାଇ 240 300 360 आराम से बाजिବ
जुइसना कार सेटा 500 वर्ष ना सेटा
ताको हेड से 300 पठाल कोनता
I'm sure there's help from players
माने हॉर्स से माने बेसी हॉर्स से बड़े शॉट रहबो
ताको पे से शॉट गुडा किछि नो
those calls, and over the last couple of rounds they have been correct.
जेते अधिक सब मॉनिटर हो सेते भलो
पूरा पिक्सल टू पिक्सल बाजियो
His success rate is huge.
YouTube पे देखि देबो हला
FPS आस्तु 500 हॉर्स थिबो 60 हॉर्स 20 हॉर्स किछि फायदा न
केइरा जे which role will be die first this round किए फर्स्ट मरो obviously duelist ही मरियो बोध मत लागुची किए मरियो बो duelist मरियो इनिशिएट मरियो कंट्रोल मरियो सेंटिनल मरियो duelist मरियो मत लागुची
Every time around like that happens, and it's gotten a timeout from Leviathan. They felt these last couple of rounds we're slipping back to Pearl, we're slipping back to GE, having a lot more control than we want them to.
And it's difficult as well because, again, like talking of that Coinbase win condition, like they had it at the beginning of this map. They had those sort of aggressive set play rounds that were working out wonderfully. And I think in the last round they were a little unlucky. Very unlucky. They have the same set play to try and go for that deep B presence, and you get domed by a full blinded guy who is just holding the angle with the operator. So it's a rough one to try and go out of a pause with, because you kind of sit there and go, oh, was it the
tension
not really, but Utkal has been turning this game.
और से कैमरा ऊपर देखो जे मोर फोटो आछी कि नै जे देखु छु पूरा डिस्प्ले रे बुझियो रे
I mean his impact has bbeen tangible from the very get go.
Ego D10 le time out.
The second he got the op, That was it. That's where things turned around.
But I mean, even on the last map as well, he's had some crazy rounds, but
kiye mariyo first round re
Leviathan's got to be spooky.
Batman.
And that timeout, no doubt.
duelist
Not necessarily about
Batman
Utkal, more about how he's given those opportunities to catch those rotates in the late round. How
kete jana board
is
deychandi
being pushed and pulled out of their hands. This time
2000 board deychandi duelist ko
3 players waiting there.
And a Batman same
So they can react quite quickly to this more direct play from GE.
Ali Molotov trying to
Batman.
mala
Side nahi hole.
closer
Oh my
angles.
God, look at him! Look at him!
Yeah, it's every round. The Harvey is just playing
Edwa Mario
space.
thale, auto Mario.
Already into the tower, but now realizing how far back they are playing, that cosmic divide is just a general irritation. They can get into a post plant. The backstab is going to be so far behind, by the way. So if they're too slow, Harvey might just kill all of them.
Bhai,
That's the plan.
hale dekha hoji kiye baharibo ago maro khaibo
Going back in the other direction. The 1-for-1 trades though.
Ago ye mala.
Has now another
controller
mala.
chada loss hela
a familiar foe. Crystal and
Bhai,
Utkal
what is
bhai
in the way.
Santo bade dila.
Now just the one.
ra
Utkale's got the angle, but not the shot. Shadow, the one with the pressure though. He has to move to the side, has to start that diffuse. Swaps out for a rifle now in the ult. It's caught him, but he's actually out wide. Utkale's dodged it.
Jiti hole.
The time on his side as it keeps on ticking. And
oh
he'll
Nice one.
kill as well. He's
Yalla.
unstoppable.
Shot robust bhai ki shot.
oh para
Thought he had him.
kete fiction mar dojandi gire
This is made there by Sato with the right one.
hey dekh
The fight.
He's
Slow
shot
it
bhai.
down. You probably at least get it to half. Buy yourself some extra time. and
nitish yan shot mariyo no
then maybe go in for the kill.
nitish palaila bode
Utkal, balls of steel, just runs past the ultimate. And he knows he's hitting that shot. Why wouldn't he? Nobody's even close to him on the scoreboard right now. 5-5. From a massive deficit, G have climbed back to potentially take the lead, but they have finally killed their demon. And maybe they've angered Sato in the process.
Mar.
The danger man is down. In fact, a few of them are. Batman and Javi, all the remains. What a great start for Leviathan. The lead may be
duelist loss wala hai na chada
Easy
ये मतलब ये वाला है
for his trouble.
Doing a thing.
टाइम हेला ओडिन हबो थलो
Safe.
Batman maribo.
Passive on B. Ready to play the retake.
Odin
No
var
numbers are by their side, and it means GE are the ones that have to take a risk. That risk means running into the numbers. Patman's dropped, and now his attempt to make this difficult situation that bit more manageable has left Javi in one that I think we all know the conclusion to.
How kichhi nahi
They're sixth and taking
How ina
back
udin
the
re bhai.
lead.
How nahi.
It's taken them a while to get there, but
He order kiye ke hato teki dauchi.
Come on.
अरे ता नखो को एमिति हेजी
Jiti be jiti.
Come on now, you can't do this to him. Someone say something.
Ve jiti bhai.
have we frozen in time?
Ve jiti.
There we go.
Let's go.
Maybe the loudest cheer of the day.
I think that one united the crowd.
What a round from Sato, though. That was one where it genuinely feels like they made him angry, but it needed something to ignite them after 4 rounds lost in a row. But there's still plenty in the purchase. An operator handed over.
Nitish goes more 60 Hz monitor ko 80 FPS
as well.
That's what I'm
already quick enough. This time, Sato has looked to try and claim B main control instead on towards their south side.
This is it. What won them the last round was the opening shot from the off.
Hey, Jani suni ko off agare ping do jandi.
And it will be a battle between these two. I suppose it's fitting. B main control taken by Sato, but Utkal walks up right behind him. And now it's a patience game, a waiting game. Perhaps the smoke up though allows Utkal to close that distance that little bit further. And King.
Mala. The good
right past Sato, and now he knows exactly where to look.
Even still.
Spike planted.
Post plant. Available on
बाज्यो पिला उड़े
looking to try and get aggressive again. It's Sato to win the
भाई
battle
कौन यार
of those operator players. Give them that man advantage. Give them an opportunity to at least go in with a lead after the start they had, but Harvey's having none of it. Already clearing one, but he's stunned up. Trade immediately from Patman. As they look to walk in together, the shot's not quite landing though. Even still, it will come down to just one. Blows making his way to the site, needs to bait someone into a fight, and Autumn just isn't giving anything away. He knows his teammate will swing first, and Patman still just sitting in the corner, will go down the spam.
Oh shit.
Not quite landing, and Autumn knows he's got
Time out
it
at
this point. We
nice.
will go in even at the 6-6.
वेट ओटी पड़ेगा की
लागुची कारण पूरा क्लोज मैच जाउची
not out of the woods just yet. A solid half. Let's see if they can keep it up after the break.
ये तो हॉकी देला नहीं मेन रे वेले ऊपर है अबे मेन प्रॉब्लम को जान चरा उस्ताई
कौन
एक तो अटैकिंग मैप टा हला एकरा अटैक हां भलो हेची कमबैक हेची किंतु आउट टिक हबार थिला बुझलो तांको मैप से माने अटैकिंग टा बढ़िया से पर आस्ते ये करी प्लानिंग करी पिस्तल राउंड थिले
ए डीसी रे आसुचिटी हिमांश तो डीसी रे देखु छुटी ना निजे ट्विच रे
ना तो डीसी रे
आउ ये कोन कहूच मु डीसी पाउनी नीतीश को ठीक देखु
डीसी पाउ नहीं ये भाई थले ठीकी
आस्थलटी आ पळेला कोन
खोली ले बा स्ट्रीम खोली ले मैं देखुले मते सुबह वाला साउंड ता खोली ले साउंड ता जो स्ट्रीम जे खोले नीलू नहीं कौन
इसियास है
Well, it's a new team for him, but I think he's done well making it to international.
Out of question was ala.
Definitely has.
Will there be an S in second half? है ना
ये सब बने ये जीव जो प्रकार खेल हाँ हाँ एटा वो ओडिन परचेस हो
Talk to me then about Patman settling into this team. What was your reaction when he told you he was joining Global Esports? Well, all we can do is support him whatever he wanted to do. So when he told us that's going to Global Esports, it's fine. It's just giving all the support that he needs. Well, Elizabeth, I think you being here means so much to him. So thank you so much for talking to me. Good luck to Global Esports and Patman.
अबे ये क्या?
तमाबा पैटमैन में
ईशा
It didn't look like they needed much look in that first match.
नहीं जो टेंशन है ये रहनी मने
ये चीज़ है भाई जी
woke up, but GE caught up in the end. We are neck and neck going into the next half, Tom. Where does your allegiance lie?
It's just difficult at this point. And I think the fact that
Secret
we
lab.
at least saw some life in Leviathan towards the
अरे अरे अरे
अरे भाई तू तो हार हो चुका है इसमें तो
talking point as we know that setup is
कीबोर्ड अगेन रखी छे
एरा देखो माउस टा एटा लॉजिक देख रहा नुआ
माउस
पंजे फुंकी कैश चुरा
हां सी मार दे जे पाउडर मारी गई छी
with how aggressive this composition can be.
We'll see. There have been a Odin purchase this half. Yes, no.
If he wasn't playing the way he is.
That is very true indeed. And as being a hero performance in the first half, we move to the second. They've had time to chat with their coaches, and we've certainly seen the coaches waffling away. Around 13 kicks off with GE on the defensive side. And Leviathan, although they've cleared a lot of space towards B, a lot of numbers there. There will be the A site that is the ultimate target. Wrap back in comes in just as GE flee the B site. Numbers and boots back on the ground here. And then Leviathan go the other direction. Early on, you know, I'd even expect this to be about orbs, but they've not taken any yet.
Walking into the one man, they were probably trying to avoid. Utkal waiting patiently. Spike Zine is gone. Okay, they're going to remove all of it. Stun him. They're sending everything to try and clear this bad out. And look at all the assists that came through onto Utkal. The Patman, he's trying to be cheeky and he's called for it. King trades him out. Advantage firmly garnered by King.
30 seconds left.
And now Crystal, 14 HP, 3 to find. All of them healthier than him, but that Sheriff is going to be deadly.
Location reveal
Everyone up until he hits that shot.
पहले
काई भाई स्मोक बार वेट कर नहीं
अरे अरे ये टका एमती कहीं हो जी
भरवा ओवर कॉन्फिडेंट एक पे तुम कोई ना तो हारियो को लीवन ऊपर ओवर कॉन्फिडेंट लीजिए
into the rest, and no doubt King's feeling pretty happy.
I'm going 8 round इतने लेट का एडवांटेज नहीं था
चलो एक्चुअल पिस्तौल राउंड जीतले सेकंड पॉइंट
ताको मैप ना ताको अटैक ताको मैप
like they expected some aggression out
केटा
of G.
ये
That
हबो
pistol looking forward on B, going under, walking back to A
भाई
main,
मैप
clearing it
जीतते
out. But in
नेक्स्ट
the end, they
लीटर
found
हारी
an
जगह
easier site to push into and traded out those kills very nicely. 7-6.
कौन सा चला गई
The lead in the
दूसरी
half should follow. Should get
देख कुछ बोल तू
We're going to see the same from Global Esports. Want to try and get as many orbs.
हां रुह भाई रो जीतियो इंडिया जीतियो तुम एटे टेंशन करो जो
On the other side of the map, they've just left.
इंडिया जीतियो ना हारियो को
के
इंडिया
इंडिया इंडिया को चीज की
हां देखो मैच देखो हमें देख
छी भाई कौन बेकारिया
इंडिया कौन गोटे तो टीममेट अछि इंडिया पता ना एसके रसी
इसके रसी नहीं है
ए सुनो बैटमैन वर्सेस साटो हु विल गेट ए नेक्स्ट किल अगेंस्ट अदर चलो जी 9 किल कर दवा
साटो
बड़े वो
देखिया
बैटमैन बाजू नहीं
because the immediate call there is for those guys
बैटमैन प्रथम मैच से जो 7 राउंड ऊपर 0-7 कर देले तापर ये मन पूरा डाउन हिंदू
हां बा और ओवर कॉन्फिडेंट ये माने ओवर कॉन्फिडेंट एक 6 कर ले
8-6 चला ना हां
6
चैंपियंस ना विसिटी
favoring Leviathan. That may change here, but it's a
VCT लंदन
bonus round.
बीसीडी एटा क्वालिफाई ले चैंपियंस सब
रेड बुल चैरियट
हां परा किंतु को मिलुनी गाणी कि
हां तुम ओटू दीटा कैन नहीं बसर नहीं जो
हां ठीक है हां
It's going to be Autumn.
No we
Taking the fight with his ultimate. They know how important keeping this round clean will be. With King.
Flawless होगी
Unless blows can hit a wonderful timing, yeah, they're already going to be spotting him.
Flawless
He's currently completely isolated. In fact, every fight that would be taken by Leviathan here would be isolated, and for Utkal, that might be the easiest kill he's had so far today. A flank, leaving it down to just one, and in the end,
Nice
Global
one.
Esports will comfortably make it through that.
Flawless जाइता ना काई पिक दर अल्लाह बैटमैन ठीक करे
हो
It's almost
किए ना
comfortably
लकी
making it through a bye round.
से भाई मुंडर अमृतंज मारी पकेला ना कोन
As we said, for Leviathan, on this attack side, attack mentality can work, but when you lose spike scene right away, Sato coming out is caught like that in early place as well. It really exposes a lot of issues with that round, but it also gives you a lot to learn from.
8-7 है ना
direct play, and GE very quickly closed the walls in on them.
ए मैप टा आंकर ना लेवेरो
Again, pack mentality, 5 in dish, stun set up.
आ पूर्व मैप टा मन 0 थिला 07 08 केते से हला से 12 7 7 13 7 ना कोन ना 13 4 वाला 13 4 को दे देले जी वाला भलो परफॉर्मेंस को अच्छा नहीं किंतु
They go diving into a stacked up site. The read again from GE is nigh on perfect.
भाई
And for the remaining two,
they're
trying their best to fight back.
लास्ट नियन अछि
This was an
nice comeback.
South side, and now they go running in towards Neon. Be careful. This guy has proven time and time again that on the skill scale, he's almost ticking off it.
अंशु सुन ये फिनिक्स टा एकला की काई दौड़ी की मल्ला कहि परु
मु जाइथिल पास जाइथिली
लोकेशन रिवील भाई
नहीं
पास होसे जाइथिली
इन्फो मिलता ना केते
तार गोटे और थिला अल्ट पे गाइते मारथांदा मिलथांदा मरथांदा त मरला
पास होसे जाइथिली मु जान नै कोन माइलाल को जाने बंच
There is no escape for Neon at this stage. The only way is forward, and with 20 seconds left, if he doesn't decide to move, saving won't really be an option either. Utkal has boxed him in complete. Well, okay.
काय दो चंद्र
नहीं सिंगल पे काय को ढूंढी
पैसा नहीं
ये सिंगल पैक ये पी के काय ढूंढी से सिंगल अच्छा कोइला क्वेश्चन विल द फास्ट किल बी हेडशॉट दिस राउंड नो कर दो
It's a lot of damage.
ना अजीब अवश्य सब
हेडशॉट ही बाजे
हेडशॉट बाजे दे
विजिट सब हेडशॉट भाई अपन
ना केतु एत मु देखले प्राय स्पैम करछन देखो ए तो बॉडी स्पैम सब चलछि
कोठी
हेडशॉट ही हुए था
फास्ट किल जाबेले हेडशॉट ओटे बाजियो
हां फास्ट शॉट तो ऑब्वियसली एटा बाजियो
हेले भी देखो तंकर फीड रे हेडशॉट किले आसी
एटा कोन ये स्किनटा देखो देखो केते यूटिलिटी रो स्पैम करछन माने भरी भरी यूटिलिटी स्पैम छै
सेव करछन दे माने
adopted when it comes to the buy round, so you very much expect it to be the case here. And for GE, the information is in their hands. Nothing in A main, nothing north side. You know it's a B hit.
साइड के छाड़ देले
Close to those pistols. You don't want to get overwhelmed.
कुंडी होछ ना कोना कर
अच्छा नाइफ के करू ना दे एटा का गोटे लुची नाइफ करू ना दे काम करेगी
ये इंटेंस मैच रे
This now gets interesting because a post plant orbital strike is gone.
Head gola.
Neon's died. That is unfortunate timing. King's done well. His ult's only one away, but I don't want to even talk about ults because the last time I did, somebody fell immediately. Weaponry retrieved by King, and okay, on the back of the side with a pistol. Now Sato has an ult of his own. It's not going to connect.
ये 50 है गला यार
ये जीत के राउंड आ अर्जेंटी बाय थेला
One. Weaker weaponry. And for Utkal, he wants to try and save this, but
save कर जी
chasing him down. Looking to run after that operator.
हां बरा
Be very careful here. There are multiple players trying to surround it.
भाई मरियो लाई
मल्ला 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 मल्ला
And it will be a Mastercard Thrifty. He gets another round on
गोला
9-8 अबे ये कौन इंदु जी
Right back in the lead.
ये आउ तो ये राउंड हारिबे
देखला हेडशॉट बाजियो नि मना करथिला देखो कि तो 2000 लोक देइथिले दे हेडशॉट बाजियो बोली
ना पीक नै कि बसंती ना से माने
Starts full south side. They see the A main aggression. The push back.
हाय
One basket now. We know they're pushing there. Let's
एरा जी जीतो ए राउंड
and that happens to be the other side.
हां जी भाई इंडिया
Happens to be where they can get in and get a plant. And that was already a success in my mind. You never have to push into you. You get a couple of kills. You make it costly.
ये हारिबे ए राउंड जी जीतियो ये बहुत और ओवर कॉन्फिडेंट हे गले लेकिन कि एटा जी जीतियो
ये को माउस उधर हिंदी दे देखिला
ये सब जो ये 19000 टंकिया लॉजिटेक
अच्छा
ये लॉजिटेक रो जो 20000 वाला 19000
एबे जोटा भाजीरा
On the other side of things, you can see Sato. You kind of want to call him a superstar in the making because of how young he is, 19-year-old. I think he's
Logic
just
sponsor
turned 19 as well.
ना
But it feels like he's already there.
हां पूर्व ये थिला ना वाला
Crazy high impact
HP
ओमेनज बा
Scream, hype up his teammates, hype up the crowd. He has now overtaken Utkal as
मॉनिटर एते लगे के रखुंदी आखि खराब होनी
alongside him. And a
मोरोड
mention
बाय
potential
अटैच
for
भाई
ultimates.
सेव हेती रखे
They have a lot of them building up.
मोर तो से
The one thing G
हां ये सत्य बचा करे पूरा मुंह को लगे खेले
ultimates already built.
माने भलो बाजे सेथर मोर लगे खेले के जान
जेंदे घोड़ा गला वाले तार आखि दी साइड दीटा पता दे होय आड़े साइड किछि जीवन होली से बेला
Right away. But
मरिबो चैम्बर मरिबो
and will be shut down. The big gun removed from the round right
जिबा
away.
नथिला
And now
काई ओवर पिक काई करू जी
much more hope remains.
सेवा जिबा नथिला तार
Flash on the other side. Some players will be caught, but others won't. The stuns go in right away. Sure, they'll lose one.
पुष्टा
G hope for in a fight like that. The spike up progresses, they could win it.
Batman
He's thinking about it. He's got a rifle. But the high
Batman
on the other side could completely
kunde
decimate any chance of finding the kill.
भाई खाली पी करी करी मरु दे किछि नाही
Has been removed.
हम आसे दियो
ये मरियो बोले नियन
डिपेंडिंग का याव जति रहने कोम कुछ बन
For a second, it looked like that. Clearly,
Defending
the
attacking
spidey senses were tingling.
हम टीम दो सटी रहउची आ चलो पुश कर दवा काई असले नहीं एते समय लागला चलो पुश कर दवा
केबे के बेटा काम होते जे
अरे पछुक जाउनु अरे पछुक जाउनु
देख देख
काम जी तांकर से करनथले कि समान साइड रे पुश करी पूरा ये
थ्रो करले जी
तांको बाय थला ना
तो सेव हो पड़ो
एरा ए जो क्रिस्टल थिला ना फेड ता माउसा बढ़िया कर दिले
Going into that third and final map, you kind of feel like a lot of those
Jay
veto
master बोलते लॉजिक
advantages
करवा
start to fade away. I think many, including
King
myself,
को इंडिया रो
were sent banned out or
ना
even
के
the
इंडिया
split
नांती टीम भीतर है
by the side.
किंग्स के रसी एकला थला
Although it may have started off as a bit of a
ये टीम
shaky
रो खाली
veto.
ओनर
We
ही
go to
इंडियन
map 3.
एटा को कहजे इंडिया टीम
I don't
कोटा
want to
किंग्स
start
कथा को किंग्स से आरवा एल
Leviathan on the defensive
Legendary
side.
ra?
Now GE adopted 2 players left
Kota
towards
ra?
the spawn for that quick reaction and the play coming towards B.
हां
The Rolling Thunder should completely stop.
ये जो लिखा है जो
किंग्स इंडिया रो ना नहीं
ना ना अरे ये सब तो बाहर है यार
हां से कहली बा बाहर
अमेरिका
इंडिया रो केही खेलु नांती इंडिया रो बे केही
तापर से
Sent in, they get one off of it and
Ahi
another
bhai.
onto Shadow, and the numbers now sitting
nice
5v3.
one
They haven't even planted the spike yet on Leviathan, and
बैकस्टेप करना
they're being whittled
खतर
down.
क्या हो रहा है रे मरिबे
create some space. Spikes
Bhai.
himself well. He's denied. Chance for a trade. The problem though is Utkal again.
प्रधान ने तो भल्ला मारू जी
And now the
हाँ,
spike
Neon
dropped
नहीं तो
in a
वाटो
bit of an
चंगी
awkward
वाली।
spot. They need Spikesy to basically go back in. Can you do it again? Can you get us that space?
अब आस्ट्राटा
Can you cause
प्रति मैच रे आस्ट्राटा रोज
is
आ पूर्व मैच पे थिला कौन आ पूर्व मैच
बहुत भल
ए रा कहला विल दिस मैप गो टू ओवर टाइम मते लागु ओवर टाइम हबो
हां हां हबा
चांस नहीं
चांस नहीं जो इंटेंस मैच
8-10 अछि मते लागु जी हबो 10 वाला तो जी बोधे
नहीं सेमन
हां सेमान है ना
मन को 9 बा
और 10 बार डिफेंडिंग ना अटैकिंग
अरे 10 बार
ताले हारिबे
coming out of the waylay on Leviathan, but
डिफेंडिंग मैप टा
in those retakes,
डिफेंडिंग में बेटा
Utkal has so much value.
हां
आओ
Got to keep him alive that long.
अदले
Looks like GE
लिवाइथन काई नेला अटैकिंग
reaggress on they're hearing some noise in A main. Send
Attacking-
on in
attacking
there.
map
Flash
ta je.
through, seize the control.
डिफेंडिंग आंको पे पे कोन बोललो
As he falls back.
तमे कहले डिफेंडिंग मैप टाइटा
नहीं अटैकिंग मैप जे डिफेंडिंग में तांको पे डिफेंडिंग कोन बोललो
just
तो एजेंट देख
makes it round the corner, but he's still here.
ब्रिमस्टोन नियन
I don't think that was the plan,
ठीक
but
तो एजेंट
अगर के जण अछन
भाई तांकर एजेंट टिके भल
meantime, the rest of the team on the attack go rotating to the other side. Deep control on the north side.
ये तो गन रो जो स्पैमिंग टा बहुत रखुछन ना गन स्पैम हो
Nice work from Sato once
बाड़े दी
again.
पळेला
To strike will deny them.
यूटिलिटी रो पूरा वर्षा
Autumn already
हाँ
looking
बा
to flank back around.
पूरा स्पैम माने उड़ी दउचंदी
They kept control
ये तो एक घंटा उतर एंटी गेम
Coming out
में
up top,
खाली
it's devastating, but the shots don't land.
भाई
Leviathan's
कौन
done everything, and now we're
सहिला
finally seeing
सहिला
we see
सहिला
shots being good on retake,
खाइला
but you have to be
खाइला
quick to stand even a chance. Patman
आवडेरा
inside. Oh, isolated in the open, and it's an easy con.
गला
ना भाई
राउंड
उठी
गला
नहीं
11 to 9.
ना उठी जीवनी
टिके रहले देव इंटरेस्ट
Just
39,
2 away from
39.
closing out the map, bringing us to split. And
Gala
as you
ito.
see, that's where favor starts to flip a little bit.
Well, the thing is as well, you look at the role of Sato, and that role is meant to be a death sentence. That's meant to be you dive in, you try
अरे
to
हिमांशु
get
तो
retreat,
ओनी के नहीं है
takes the space. He's diving in, he gets
ऐसे जो साटोटा जोटा क्वेश्चन पचार थला सेटा ठीक गला
comes out with 3 kills at the end
कौन
of the round.
साटो?
He truly has been
पचार नथला उठे से
in this map thus far.
पड़ाला
साटो
And him versus
बैटमैन वर्सेस साटो who will be get the next kill agent
Patman though,
हां साटो
against
बा
हाँ
shut this man down.
साटो बार कला बा
That might be a good opportunity for them. to
बैटमैन
find
रे बाजू नहीं यार से पुश करी मरची
Nice push up in A main. It looked like they take some blows for that.
ना पछरे खेल रे पो पछरे खेल जितियलो
By the time that anything's landed for Leviathan at 2 versus 4, needed sure they've
दोजो
penalties, but this is
तेहो आउ ब्रिज तिले को बड़ा अवस्था हो जे
stepping into the off this time in the hands of
नाइस
तांका यूटिलिटी यूज बहुत भल बहुत भल
body on the
ये माने यूटिल यूज करना दी जी वाला
कहरु चंती बे
ये कहला करूना दी जेते कर
players to take down.
कम
This would
करचंदी
put Leviathan up to 12.
देख देख
It'll probably win them the
जाना।
map, but
वाह
it's an
बढ़िया
impossible task. GE
अरे
find their
किए
way back to within punching distance.
अरे अटैकिंग तांकर
And unnecessary one
हमरा
of that.
डिफेंडिंग
Said
जीरो गांडी
Sato
को
that was dominating a lot of
अरे
these
ये
rounds,
जी
so
तो
to
जीतिला
shut him down immediately. But then again,
कौन कहू छ
we talked about this a lot throughout the match so far. I love the calls from Harvey just
जीतिला?
to go, no, you know what?
आउ जी
We
रवा
use the ultimate.
डिफेंडिंग
Let's play through their
Oh,
utility. Let's
अच्छा।
get aggressive. Trap them in towards their spawn while they're
दो
isolated.
11 9 थिला ना कोन परा
Scenario at at all. A confidence building.
11-10 अच्छा गोटे टाइम आउट नहीं जाई छंती ना कोन
Hasn't gone anywhere.
ना ना टाइमर नहीं ना
Patman once again with that operator, but a flash.
ओटी पे रखी जंदे मला
through that wall before they pick. No, are they going to walk up on it?
तू नहीं से भाई से पिला और
Well,
तू
he's
नहीं
definitely been caught out early.
रखी छी
It's actually
ये केतल पचला ते मिस लखुजी अरे ये पचारु केतल मिस होउची
पेंडिंग
केतल
पेंडिंग पेंडिंग
हां भाई ये पचारु केतल मु तो देखि पारुनी ये
तमे दबैचो यस नो दबैचो
नहीं सर सेटा न गोटे मिस लेखिला तो
गोटे लास्ट तुम करनो देखुनो
हां भाई मिस लखुजी केतल क्वेश्चन आसी पळुची
नाइस वन नाइस वन
ये भाई
नाइस वन
बढ़िया माइला बे
ची माइले सेक्सी राउंड
नाइस वन भाई कंट्रोल साइड कंट्रोल आको खोनते हला
it's making me so uncomfortable.
मिस माने नियन टा केमते
Throws his stun, jumps back.
भाई
इंदे डॉज कर के मार
बैंडल को केमते से कंट्रोल करी मारिला देखिलो दी जण को एठी हेवन जो हॉल रे से ऊपर ये टावर रे
Well, you're starting to see those credits.
फैंटम टाइप को कंट्रोल कर दिहो
ए राउंड जीति गले तांकर इकोनॉमी नहीं टोटल
नहीं
Immediately throwing through the
Audio
overground
tanga
on
economy.
the other side is caught, and in fact,
eh
up with the kill.
Nice one.
Trades immediately back in response. But Sato gets a shot. Back to a 3v3 once more. As they grind to a halt
अबे
for a second.
हमर ई क्रिस्टल टा को एमिति खेलुजी
To catch their breath, Patman's
कितने किल करची
operator has been spotted.
ना 8टा
Udotan
16टा डेथ
position also.
हां परा टोटल खाली मरुजी आगु जाउची मरुजी
They want them to
ये
spend,
बैटमैन
they
रे
want them
वारो
to peak, to re-clear, to think that they've left, and they do.
जाऊ चंदी बारी रे
बड़ी बार बस
जाऊ
यार 8 थर मारला 23 टा 25 टा एमबी पेजला
अरे जा ना रे भाई
तो कुछ
गला प्लान कर देले माने ओए रे
भाई ये मन पूरा ब्रेन गेम खेल देले
अच्छा ये टोटल साइड केंदी लीव करी पळेले
के जानी
एक्स्ट्रा वाल अच्छे से रिटेक हे बेरियो
इजीली टेक जो
अरे से जाऊ भी नांती ए तू गले
अस्ट्रा जो
कर चुवाल कर चिवा
30 seconds left.
डिफेंस में करे पे करे
Spike planted.
Sato never let go of this position.
You are divided.
कर देला
Held his ground all the way through.
ओहो मेन काटी
Thing
छी
is, they can avoid his position, but can they? Holding within the
बेकारिया पिला वाला की रे
1v1 सब
पछरे बापा पछरे
He's still around this corner. Finds the
भाई
नेक्स्ट
कौन यार
Levy attack.
यार सटे यार एटा जीति बारथला
And are now one
Finish टा
round
पूरा हो
away
गइतला है
from taking us to map 3.
Global Esports got past that first map easily.
रोइला
Broke a sweat.
One enemy remaining.
एटा जो सिंगल पैक पिक दे देले सेटा ही असुविधा हला
Just up to difficulty 12 on the board.
देखिए उठी जाऊ छी ना नहीं
It's either
ओटी
time
मतलब
or victory.
विल दिस मैप गो ओटी
Leviathan
वो ये
again.
मु तो एस मारथिले बाकी कोन से
They went to the B
Yes,
side
को
with this.
yes काई मारथलो
By numbers. There were
मु
3
तू ही निजे कहितलो भाई नो 1400 जन दै छंदी
बे तू हां करथलु मु मना करथलु
हां चिमुन मना करथला आ बाकी समते ओटी कहितले
ओटी कथा कहूचो
आ कोन
गल्ला
And the pace should
गल्ला
be
मैच
on
गल्ला
the safe side if it is. Crystal's the one with the challenge, the man who top fragged the last map, put on a
माने स्प्लिट रे जाओ
race in so many
किछ जण जदि तीनटा बाहर को दो किल गला क्रिस्टल गला
are hungry.
आ सहिला जीजी हो लिखि दे जीजी लिखि दे
ना नहीं
तू भी टू जीजी
होनी भाई किछि कहे होनी भाई कहउतली
अरे
ओ भाई
ते बैक
हां यार वन भी दबा नथला वन भी दबा
मैंने भूल करछन प्राइस जा रे 1v1 दे दो
His leader to try and fight versus two.
वन दबा नथला
Neon on King on the other side, but the problem is he has to make noise. He has to give the game away. Tries to bait the fact that he's already dropped down.
गला
But they will now know, and the Rolling Thunder is going to force him all
ये कितने स्पीड से त मूवमेंट आलो किलो
further.
हां देखिले बा केटे से दौड़ के आइला
ए गला
Map 3 on the horizon. Don't go anywhere.
हो आरो ओटे पॉइंट तारो ओटे पॉइंट हैला ना
स्प्लिट रे
भाई
जाना
नेक्स्ट
पड़िबो
स्प्लिट अच्छी यार
सारा स्प्लिट रे एग्रेसिव एजेंट नेबे देखियो श्योर
स्प्लिटर एंटी मैप टा
ए देख देख गला गोटे पॉइंट गला एटा
नो ये नो तो मारथिल
ना
ये
ना
कोन होउछ देखिलो
यस मारथिल
तो नो कोथिल
लोकटा कोन होउछ
भाई कोन
भाई पागला आइले ने
भाई माने जी माने एते बड़ टीम हे गेलानी कोन जी एते बड़ टीम हे गेलानी पूलो
अरे से जो प्रथम से जो प्रेशर थे तांको जो किए नियन जी तार केंते प्रेशर रे मुंडरो झाला बाहर पड़तला देखछ ना जेतले 07 मैच थिला मैच
हां बा
07
कोन खेलिबो ना ना देखिबा मैच टा
और लास्ट देखि द तब खेल द सुगुडा केतरा हला
11 टा
ये तो रहबो ना
कोन
ब्रेक टा कितने मिनट
ब्रेक ए गोटे मिनिट है
नाम
हां 5 मिनिट
भाई मोर गोटे सांग जांच कोन करिछि
कोन
रोबोस्ट भाई
हां एटा गोटे मिलला रे ए सेकंड रे नो मारथिले कोन
सुनो रोबोस्ट भाई ये भाई मोर गोटे सांगटे गोटे काम
लाइव रे अछि किंतु हला जहा कहते देखि कहबो
ए प्रभु लाइव टा टिके बंद करनो
लाइव टा बंद लाइव टा
अरे अरे लाइव टा म्यूट मार दोछ
हिमांशु की करो
हे
वाडाला म्यूट काई हां को
A lot more energy throughout the whole of their team, and they can see
Chala.
it's easy for him. We're just as good. Let's do that too.
And Waylay is an agent that
Yeah,
we
Jidu asila bude. Jidu pulai ala bude.
see him kind of like
Nah, nah.
in that aspect.
जी हमको छाड़ी की पॉली खेले थे ये
Everything looked a lot more comfortable for LEV on this map, even though it
ए
was
भगवान
really,
तुम
really
खाइबा
close.
एते समय हो
Again, some of the ideas with the trap plays, we know Owner comes in with
Oh.
good ideas.
Yeah, something that I highlighted
तुम
why
तुम पळैला बोली
is that
जी
he
हारी
needs to
गला
dodge the breach stun, but GE
जी हारी गला
in some of these moments, as we see here, the breach stun comes
Oh,
out
G
very
हारी
early
गला?
in the round, catches some players, and
Out
sometimes
of
able
ना?
to dash in
Out
and
of
लास्ट एटा फाइनल बा
team.
गोटे जी रो गोटे आर लेवेंडर रो एटा फाइनल दा
Utility behind it as well. You can definitely see the clear set piece there. You see those Sam was
last
actually
जतरा
picking up
बहुत close
2
थला
kills
भाई
by the end whilst
11
Sato
10
was
थला
going and diving in.
कितु
Being able to get enough of the rounds on the defense from LEV was really good because they didn't have that
से लास्ट रे से तीनटा जो माइला हला अब ऑल टा खोली गई से 1v1 पिक दे
समय ना ताकर देखो देह यूटिलिटी भलो यूज कला देह यूटिलिटी
देवा ये वेले देवा वेले
ए माने को कॉम्बिनेशन बढ़िया थला
Yeah, I think LEV just eats this one out. Their
हम
composition has something.
हम वाले रहते खड़ी पड़ता है
Have a sentinel on their team. They have a breach. I think there's some weaknesses.
वाह वाला एटा फाइनल एटा देखि दो
Going into split.
एटा देखि एटा खेल दे छबरे
एटा तो सॉल्व जीवा एटा सॉल्व
Being
जीवा
able to put up over 300 ACS,
एटा देखि
still
खेल दे छबरे
slightly slipping away from them in the end. But of course, we do finally get to see that third map. The first third map received
आपरे भलो खेले
this event so far. So I'm looking forward to seeing that split.
Yes, and Mini
Breach
earlier
of the
saying
owner
if we
देवा
made it to map 3,
स्प्लिट भी ये करिवे डिसेबल करिवे तार ओड के जेवा वाला
confident in it again. So as we go into
ए
split,
गेम
why
दा
are you feeling confident for LEV?
बेटा पड़े लगे
जो ना यूटिलिटी जरा जो मैच बाहर को ना दी तादर बहुत ग्लिच वाच
अरे स्प्लिट रो भी ब्रिज वाला ग्लिच वाला नहीं से जो वाल थ्रू
And LEV said, nope, we're just going to continue with the double.
बी साइड नो बी
ता को तांकर जो डेवलपमेंट दी ता खाली गाड़ी पड़थवा किछ नै जो जो डेवलपमेंट
Doesn't exist. And GE
खाली गाड़ी पड़थवा
similar
और किछ
comps to
नै
Americas in the sense that they like to have
Wise
a
bug,
sentinel on
wise
this
bug.
map. And I think that LEV know how
हां
to
ते
play
फ्लैश रे देखाउतला ना कोन पूरा
GE going to continue with that
स्प्लिट रो
sentinel
बग
style.
वारची बी साइड रो जो वाल रो
Here we go.
अबे मोर कोन होचे मो आईएमए रा खराब ही होची फुनी जो लास्ट टाइम वारंटी क्लेम पर जोटा से माने पठैथले तार लेफ्ट साइड बे काम कोनी आउ
The games I've watched of LEV, they have
को
not
है
been
ये
this map at all.
सेटनेस रबा 007
From the composition, this is what Global Esports were playing back in Pacific.
एमन कोन
And like
करचंदी
you mentioned,
एमन
Minnie
डीटा
here,
स्मोक को नहीं
Levi
चंती
Top
सेंटी नहीं
playing that double Julius. I
सेंटी
think
नहीं
it's
को बचरे
interesting to see how they are going to play up against the double controller.
एमन को पाखु
the
जदी
Sage. I think
डिफेंसिव
it's not
डिफेंस
Global
आसीला
having to start on the attack here, puts them in
बढ़िया
a
हो
very uncomfortable
ग्लोबल
position.
ई-स्पोर्ट्स पाखु
Yeah, I agree. I think that the attack side of this composition from GE
Oh.
is the slightly harder one to play, and it'll be interesting to see how LEV tries to.
एमन को डुलिस नहीं
बाबू निजे निजे
Firepower with the
लैंग्वेज रे
Julius. Are they going to
सोचे
fight for these extremities early? One thing I
हां
expect GE to
ठीक
do is
था देखियो चार्ट सांगति प्लस दे दे
ग्लोबल आ रियो
ए एलवी लव्स नियन
back. That's what I want to see from both these teams.
I think one of the heads
I
I'm looking at as
score,
well
we
is
play.
Sato, who's
Da,
had a
Arijibo.
good performance on that map. But then
ग्लोबल रो
also
देखो ना
Utkal on the other side on the
50%
raise here. I'm just intrigued to see how they actually match up against one another when you look at the pairings with that fade. All these little trap plays that
ताको
they can set
कौन
up
पे
to
पीक
fight
देखो
for
ना
एलवी कर चल हमें भी स्पैम कर दो
We got LEV, we got
जी
Global
जी
God,
जी
and
जी
we've got a map 3s. We send it back to our
Hello.
casters, Mitch and Tom.
एटा कॉपी पेस्ट करे एते की बस ये करियो टाइप करियो अरे
Well, you know, I
Don't
was
know.
starting to get worried that we were going to see some 2-0s all week
Huh?
long,
I
Tom,
did
but
too.
this one is certainly delivered exactly as we hoped.
अबे यार लिमिट
All
कहते
the
की
way to the final map. Now listen, two very different compositions these teams are bringing out. A core 3 that remain the same across the board, but
स्लो मोड को दे
which one draws your eye more? What do you like the look
आ
of?
नालो पूरा स्पैम करू उड़ी देवे
स्लो मोड को दे दे भारी विरक्त कर ले
I would probably lean the way of LEV. I
स्पैम
think
करू
that
उड़ी देवे पिला
Sato is fantastic in this position.
मैं लागू नहीं मैं ग्लोबल जीतियो बोली
पाटा चुप करियो पक्का को नहीं था
Deny some of that defensive side aggression from LEV by being in the right place at the right time. I think
लागू
this
नहीं देखो
could
गेम पड़ा था
be a good counter, but with how Sato played on the last map, I don't feel
What
like if you're trying to
is
counter
this?
this man, he might rip your head off before you can even think.
Well, I've certainly seen a few
हिमांशु रेज वेट करो जुबे
Udotan.
हिमांशु रे से वीडियोटा देखते ना देखना दलदल मान
से
पठे
बेसी दिन नहीं बेसी दिन नहीं से
See
टॉप पे करो
Tan finding the first pickup and then fading out, giving up heaven control, but isolated on this side is Spike Scene. He's all alone.
भाई
ओ
कौन
हिमांशु ऑन करू भला
And a flawless
गाड़ियां पट्टी
Leviathan follows.
The saying is you
अरे भाई ये कौन
see
कोल्ला
yourself die alone or something along those lines. My man just didn't die. He just stayed alive at the back. And while absolute destruction in the pistol round, and that was a big part of that previous map as well. The fact that
जी के ओटा स्टेज के सपोर्ट करना है
they were able to get those pistols over the line, they were able to put themselves in a position that ended up just closing out the map in very close contention. If you're GE, you probably feel a little bit more done by a pistol round. Genuinely could have made all of the difference. But in this round, it is again.
एमन कौन करूँगे तो ये प्रथम मैच जो खेलते ले पार्लेज मैच है से स्ट्रैटेजी पकोशन देती
all the way to the other side to get the second. But with how little is invested here, Mitch, expectations, I would say if they get a kill, they've done.
ओमेन को देख कौन करूँ
Getting the 2 orbs already is going to be a challenge if Leviathan keep holding the angles they're on. Ready for the fight up top, but it is only a judge on Spike's in, so he can't really take the fight to them.
In
fact, they're gonna, although we thought this was a step forward to grab the orb, maybe it will be when the wall goes up. Numbers have started to shift in the other direction.
वर्तमान B plant है वो
Some presence on this side of the map and step forward, grab the orb, make some noise, let them know that this is the side that they're looking to fight on while the others walk into B, but it's not left open. Leviathan, they're wise to these tricks. They just played 2 maps where GE were doing the same thing. Another flawless round for Leviathan. A clean lead built up.
No one can blame me.
They're looking for. They can come into this next round with a singular judge, which okay, not as strong as it used to be, but I think we've already seen that can still be incredibly strong. Maybe the judge can too. And as their lead builds, it feels like so does that confidence for Leviathan. That first map seeming more like the outlier than the defining factor. That's what I was kind of expecting with the slows. Like, you know your opponents like to get aggressive, so throwing those in early. But I also like what Neon
No one can blame me.
Out, gets the info, but it's part of a TP to get away. He can't be tracked there, but he still spots players.
Spread across the map, putting pressure on mid, looking for someone to step out of line. Seems very unlikely to happen towards this A site. Prowler sees nothing there. Didn't see nothing. I think Autumn might have shot it. Went down very early, and they certainly know he's around this area now. The first map, this would have already seen the rotate start to the A site, but as we said, Leviathan are more than aware of how GE like to work this attack side. How they've been exploited in this series already, and so as GE gear up for this B hit, there's still going to be numbers waiting. The idea to send Autumn late through mid. Actually, he's going to find a lot of empty space there.
30 seconds left. 3 players make that 4 already here for the defenders. The read is almost perfect. The crossfires working out as well as one player goes down. The swings are immediate. And this is a problem for Global. Nice one from Patman.
Nice. Last one.
What the fuck? 12 seconds left. He's got an isolation.
What the fuck?
It is a dangerous throw, as we said at the beginning, and maybe a little bit too close. Nonetheless, GE do have their first round.
Yeah, definitely a lot of blows traded out by LEV there, but GE with a lot of patience as well. Starting on the mid control, pushing them back, and the question mark that created was enough for Leviathan to decide to rotate through
What is inside the Rasla? There will the spike be planted this round 3. Ere na B rabo. Koodi plant abo ko ere habo na B rabo.
Ye jana porchiba.
Nicely done. Now the full buy from Leviathan.
Dekha ere plant abo. Mate laguji.
Mitha laguji kintu pachi nahi jama.
With a very different approach as well. Last round was waiting for aggression. They had 1-3 mid. This time, everything given up. With 1:20 on the clock, it's pack mentality outside A.
Na pachi na kintu bhal laguchi.
Depends how long it's going to take Leviathan to realize.
Messi.
Lowe's job is just to try and slow them down, and the pre-fire almost takes him out completely. They managed to keep control though. Now look to put together.
Great retake by Leviathan, though. Numbers on ramp already. 3 men have made it down, but Autumn again trying to wrap around behind the blade, trying to beat that thorn in the side. It's not even needed in this play. And now Neon left with.
It's time
to go to the other side of the map, tuck in, and hope to carry that rifle through to the next. A great round for GE, though, only losing Utkal, who was grandstanding in the middle of the site, and he took 2 with him.
Yeah, I like the way they adapted to that, because you look at the fact that Heaven control was completely in the hands of the defenders. I think that initially Blows did a great job to just make sure they take that for free. It makes the retake so much more difficult. They implant ultimate steam position. He's then left smoked off, and then Utkal is just watching that angle, and okay, there's a little bit of disruption thrown in at the same time from Patman, who's TP'd up to almost use the gap in the wall. And then when
Utkal get into one circle this.
ଗୋଟେ ବାଜିବ ନାହିଁ ଏଟା
ବାଜିବ ବୋଧେ ମୁଁ ଲାଗୁଛି
ଅଟକିଗଲା ଷ୍ଟ୍ରିମ୍ ଅଟକିଗଲା
अरे नेट इशू ये काय अटकिला
YouTube ट्यूज गला
ना ना असला
रिलोड मार दो
लाइव रे तो अछि ना
हां जे जाई थला उने एफएफ लिख जंदी
की का मारला
रो जानी हम कुछ
ये वाडेला
the first fight. Now this is a bit more dangerous, but they just
spike wadi
marla headshot
ready
This will be a hard round to take out of G's hands. They have a showstopper if they need it, and that's probably a big win if Leviathan can make them pop that ult.
Neon at least managed to get his rifle back, but positioning from Patman as well. A late smoke thrown in. Now he's flanking a man who thinks he probably has a wraparound.
एयरप्लेन वाला ना अच्छा ब्रू से पछरथला ना एयरप्लेन ना बीरप्लेन
It's at least a gun into the hands of Sato, but can they get anything more from this?
चारटा राउंड पेटमैन तीनटा किल আছে ना भला भला ना
That's a mistake. Yeah.
अरे मार दो
Yeah, definitely not.
अरे कौन भाई
From Utkal, but hey, he gets a kill for at least.
Well, he sent his missile to namesake out. Fair enough.
Might
not have been necessary, like you say. I'm 99% sure that was a missile. It's one of the most.
हाँ सत्य तो देखिए तो से को ठीक है एटा कौन हबो विल देयर बी ये किल
यूटिलिटी कटियो ना
राउंड 6 रे कौन हबो यस ना नो
कटियो गोटे लागु छिबा
मारन दिनी मो यूटिलिटी माने मारन दिनी नो
ए मरतिनी आर थर फ्रैक्चर केमदी से मरियला ते हो ये थरे
थोड़ी अच्छी भाई
देखी ना दी
अरे तो थरे बारंबार
सुन रे दलदल मान छाड़े लो जे माइसन हिमांशु
Leviathan because they only just close it out 13 to 11.
तो डाला
The fact that G has got off to such a good start. When you look back to at least the last couple of times they played this map,
सत्य साढ़े देखी दीजिए ना वैसे का मार
true to this composition, having a lot available for delay.
ताकि कितने माइनस हो तो जॉब का जो भी दीजिए
LEV have realized very early on that okay, we need to chat to owner, we need to come up with something here on the defensive side because
माने कितने घंटे मैंने प्रैक्टिस करते हुए कहला
12 घंटा दिनों
Chat with the coaching staff, and now we're right back into the game. The barriers will go up, and it's time for them to apply whatever they've learned.
12 घंटा ना वो
The big brain.
कितने से प्रैक्टिस करना होता है
GE pack mentality. 5 players sitting outside A. No control across the map. This is
दिनों 12 घंटा ना फिर रेडिएंट नहीं परिबनी
Yes. Right.
तेज क्या
It's going to take them a very long time to go anywhere.
5 बार रिपोर्ट किया हूँ
In their A site take, especially when you have a nightfall. We've seen this already. The throw put out, then they have the wall put up top. Once they can get it on the cross, I think it's like the defense are already they're already ready once again to try and go for this retake down the ramp. But last time they got shut out.
They dealt with a TP attempt from Patman, so no heaven control now for GE to work
with.
On the site, waiting for the V-Time to come to them. Remember, last time Autumn in the same position wasn't spotted, wasn't needed, so he can hold that deep into the round. The wall has to be broken. The slow goes in right away. More time.
मुड़ी के खाइबो ना मो मुड़ी रे चिकन जोड़ो करे खाइले
Paranoia, oh, it's lined up perfectly. It's going to catch so many. 3 players blind.
Mala.
They still managed to find their kills. Numbers sit heavily in favor of GE, and King might have bought himself a way out. A way to save this weapon with that kill, but no chance anymore. It's the same result.
I really like this.
monitor
we're seeing from GE. Back to that prior round. Okay, they
monitor.
And then they TP up.
240 counts 5 people 5 on the pintu ro de
help them a lot, but also paranoia is
तार पण डबल वन रो
not going to leave you completely blinded.
double जे 5 थोड़ी
5 बा
ना 200 200
You can understand why.
नहीं रे भाई 500 नहीं नथिबो 500 हम ओडिशा रे कहार जो मु जानि
has caused so many issues that look at the defense in this round. They are about to try
बैंक
and
नथिबे तो के नेला
break control.
ला बहुत अछि
अरे मु सुनिया पहले मो ये पता ना
See absolutely nothing but GE. They've taken a loss early on. Patman down.
इला जने एटा सप्तो गेम छौ जान
No steps to take him out of the round.
V1 पट ने कुछ जो V1 पट
Make it 2 inside
ना ना
the trade at least. For GE.
सॉरी जो ड्रिफ्ट एरिया करे नि गाड़ी पिट लेन पर
हां
सी वैल्यू खेले
अच्छा
ये तो पहिला सप्तो गेम छौ जान
ये बा केजरीवाल वालो खेलतला टूर्नामेंट रे की
हां
टूर्नामेंट रे वालो खेलतला
मोर गोटे ए दलदल मान लेछ मोटा मोटर से के गिफ्ट मिल जे
Yeah, I think it's one of those moments where it seems like
कितने मॉनिटर
Neon is almost doing
400
like being able to just deliver playing around smokes and that might even be the reason presence because they go that's the guy that's been causing them issues so far. I think that the deaths he's had have mostly been when he's rotating towards A. I think it was 6-1 other than that. Another big round for a man that has been taught.
अरे सत्य पळेला ना कोन
coming into this tournament.
किछ कहूनी
अच्छा अच्छा मैं देखु
आवडे के जॉइन करला ना के पळेला आवडे
ना माइक खोल ले
माइक खोल
एक बार मिड रे यूटिल नहीं प्रॉब्लम हो गई
हमर एगो कोन हो गेलो साउंड वारो सेज गला कुआडे मिड वॉल काई गलानी
Now the advantage no longer in the hands of GE. The plant not found and they rotate.
ओ भाई मारुची केम दीजे
From the early fight still wins the battle.
कौन है भाई कौन है ला वो इकला हॉल रे
Can be this time.
हेलो
जुइस रना
He thinks now it's the A hit, but
anyone here
he'll find out the plants on the other side.
के जानी मुझे नहीं मोटी बसी खाउची
Sooner than expected.
जानी कौन ला मु तो मोटी बसी खाउची
कौन पड़ला
मु जान नहीं
भूत वाला र देख ये कितने शीघ्र से माउस मूवमेंट कर दोछंदी
हमारे पॉपकॉर्न होची वर्षा
अरे
मुस्ता बकरा भांगी ले जुआ कौन है हां भांगी तो कौन है बाला मैं खाई जाऊती खाई की मोरा फाइल में दे
But he couldn't get the full picture in time. Now 3 to 5. Again, with a decent lead. And it might just be about to get that little bit better.
आना चिमुना ना जोड़ा दलदल में बेकर जोड़ा अछि जुइस रा एक्सेल 250 2566 है X plus.
Purchased. A Viper's pit.
Tahar HP.
नहीं Juice रो.
Ultimate available. They're going to try and just pad
Juice टा कहाँ रो?
they have in this round with those ults.
हिमांशु कोई पारिबो.
Once again though. Wow.
17,000 टका माउस. अरे हिमांशु तो 17,000 टका माउस. Logitech. उन्हीं अच्छा. टिके कमी आला मैं कम्युनिटी को इधर लूँ ना.
Causing them issues though. Looking like he might try and get a little bit cheeky around this.
Yeah, I do think that GE are ready for that.
और पक्के दो ना मुसा जनता आ इतरे रुसे और इतरे रुसे और इतरे मुसा जनता पक्के दो ना
They saw the elbow. Neon.
और मांगी देची कॉप हो
He was lining up. Don't get a chance to
कॉप मांगी देची
as King falls. This round looking
नहीं और चिकन रोड पीस ने पक्के दो दूर दी कैसी है
Spike scene's got an ace up his sleeve.
देख तंकर डुअलिस्ट भी स्पाइक प्लान करो कि नहीं आम डुअलिस्ट फिंगी दी जो हैं मु डुअलिस्ट मु प्लान करिविनी
ठीक है
by his lurks around the map. Think back to the
अरे से प्लान करछ और पाइमो
अरे हां दे अरे बुझले दे
is still causing the mass amount of problems. We saw it in prior rounds where they go for that clear that
करि परिबो काहे कि ना तार 17,000 टका माउस घर अछि मुइने कॉलेज रे
these all in rounds where they're all together, they're all pushing an angle, and then they've had these other rounds where you just have Autumn on the other side of the map, and it feels like each time they try and pick the round where he's not going to be there, they're wrong.
Yeah, again going back to Pearl, that was the kind of vibe we had. It wasn't about the lurks instead about where the hits were coming through, the fakes.
Na se au hoboni ba se au toxic so honi
9-3 possible. That would be a big blow to Leviathan moving to the next half. We haven't seen those signs of the defensive side connecting consistent rounds just yet.
But it's just been Neon's B-side hold, and they're going to challenge him once again. This time though, sent through. He's managed to escape.
क्यों वाला?
Wow.
ए मरी ना ओमेन जो रेट टिप्पी मारी खसी जे छटू.
Wow. Showstopper will give them space. Already wall being broken, but
कम लिखो तमा कमासियो.
Through and the attackers wanted
ओमेन
to
तू खेलबो कहउथलो
not wanting to be trapped in. Even still though, damage being done. That again.
Hi, okay dala.
He seems to have an opponent.
किए हॉकी लागल मारिला पिला मारला भलो ना
मोमेंट हॉकी दला.
Interesting enough so that
अच्छा पेटमैन तो पेटमैन टिटा होगरा दोस
ना ना ब्लाउज ब्लाउज
ब्लाउज ब्लाउज ठीक है अच्छा अच्छा ब्लाउज अच्छा था फेड ओह फॉर्म का शेले जी वाला फॉर्म का शेले
बाडे लोग
केरकरा माटा देले वर्तमान
सेटा राग नोचंदी
देखलो मीटर किंतु होगला सला देखिला मारलानी रोए
they were tunnel visioned. They were chasing that last man bring around a Rosie, and instead it was Javi to catch them. His ult now available for the next.
अच्छा इटा को
you can understand.
Try this round. Defuse करियो ना करियो नहीं 11 राउंड रे
ना okay that wouldn't be great considering you won the pistol.
मार दिले ना
ये कौन नहीं चंदी टाइम आउट
हां टाइम आउट वाला
चल नहीं जी कर देबे चल कर देबे
a 9-3 deficit into this GE comp, which as said I think has looked better.
कौन मारिया
पार्टी चुप करियो असलु ये पार्टी चुप
एरा कह सत्य कह एटा कोन करिया डिफ्यूज करियो ना करियो नहीं 11
एटा डिफ्यूज हबन तांगे कोच हबन
was a safety net that they didn't even need to go
चला
near.
देखिया का बता रहा
पार्टी चुप करियो कोई दीजिए
Nothing that this pause is about anything else but addressing that. The fact that they've caught him in so many rounds, like you said, you think about Sewers, you think about there in mid, a player swings, has a gun pointed at him, and Autumn somehow reacts.
Gets go
whether he doesn't
empty
have his weapon
seats.
or whether he's looking the wrong way, it doesn't matter. He ends up
Fucking
walking out of there
so.
with most of his HP and an advantage for the team. That cannot be happening. Even some of the time it shouldn't be happening. It's happening every time.
But there is a reason that this guy flexes between this Viper and, you know, like a Phoenix or something. He has that raw individual skill. He's had it for quite a while. There was a reason that teams were willing to take that risk of picking him up in China. It was because of the flair that he brings to the server. But yeah, it feels like in some of the cases, the LEV players should have been hitting those shots. He has managed to get away with it other than Neon. Neon has been having his moments. The last round, of course, he was completely forced out. And well, surely Hammond's not just walk all the way through. He's heard the rotation now.
देख लो नियन को गला देख लो
That could have been a double.
भूल कर दिया वो मैंने actually.
That could have been even more.
जमा trigger discipline नहीं.
Round to follow it perhaps, but GE with a few stumbles, a man down. The Sage Wall doesn't cover off Heaven the way they wanted to. Leviathan, their best chance here of this A site retake. They've not spotted on him, but he won't land his shot. The trades out though as Utkal found one, slips back into the site as well. C's being thrown. It's going to delay that push, allows Utkal to get right back here towards Ticken, and they don't think he's around this spot, but Seto finds him anyways. Under his belt, gives Leviathan 4.
That's the guy that we were seeing in the last map. That's the guy that's been missing in this one. That is just raw individual brilliance coming out from
diffuse.
It's almost like what we were talking about with Autumn, where this guy is seemingly facing into an angle where someone is waiting for him, and he is just landing every single shot. That's going to put him one away from as well. Going in with the duelist comp in for the attack, it's not a death sentence. It's just the manner in which this half has gone that has felt a little bit more scary.
Well, yeah, think about even looking at the timeline, what happens if Leviathan don't take the pistol round.
Nitish कहउछि esports जोठी होछि तार मास सप्लाई जोठी होछि सेठी गोटे गार्ड वैकेंसी बाहरंता की जीरो कोठी हेडक्वार्टर
इंडिया
बट अरे इंडिया वाली को लोकेशन दिल्ली बेंगलोर मुंबई जा जी पड़ा मुंबई पड़ा बेट गला दो
Buffalo.
And Spike Scene's done a remarkable job. But despite it, they're going to have to fight back into this A site. TP's going to be denied. Plant found, one away from a showstopper. And utility online for GE. This is not an easy retake.
That's so annoying, because for Neon now, he's so far away. He was literally on the opposite side of the map. And although his teammate can get through that little bit quicker, he's going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. Autumn's positioning again. He's just been annoyed this map, but he doesn't have the wallbang from Spike. This might just be his round. Facing against Utkal in that one. The first, a little bit too easy. Spike Zine so far ahead of his teammate and now just holding that showstopper. The last one was clicked by mistake. This one is clicked to buy time. And that time already seeming like it's too far. The nade is perfect. 8-4 at the halftime. A comeback.
कि सेक्सी खेला देखला सेक्सी खेला ब्रो
माने रेस्ट हम बढ़िया खेल गला माने मस्त क्लिप एटा
मिस कर देलुम फोन दे
आ देखो रिप्ले देखो खेलीला से देख
For Leviathan has to be corrected and they're running out of time. Bounce back has to happen after the break.
माने बढ़िया ऑल्ट
अरे
सेक्सी ऑल्ट
फ्रेश हो गया
तमे आडो ओडिसा रे जो पिला रिप्रेजेंट करी न तो या कहयो तांको को व्हिच टीम विल बी नेक्स्ट पोस्ट हाफ टाइम पिस्तल राउंड के करियो को
मते लागु जी ग्लोबल भी करियो फेरे
लेवी करियो मते भी लागु छी लेवी कला भलिया
भाई ए पिस्तल राउंड एतिया पर निहाती
ग्लोबल इस्पोर्ट्स
निहाती जितिया पड़े पिस्तल राउंड
हां एटा करियो किए जी करियो ना एलबी करियो लेवी करियो मत लाउछ
तो डिफेंडिंग कर अछि
आरो जीरो
टाइम जाउची लेवी मार दो जीरो
मो कहि
जी
विल बी द फ्लॉलेस हबनी होते ना हबो
लागु नै
नो
देखिया एदी पड़ी गछ आ इतर कोटा ठीक हो जो भूलो जाना पड़ो
देखो जदि हमर दीटा अलगा अछि भाई जदि ग्लोबल स्पोर्ट्स रही गला लाइक मार देला ताले फ्लॉलेस हबो
It's a big lead for GE making waves across a very big pond, but for Leviathan
देखियो कोन होछ
is where they have to climb back. A great fracture behind them.
नीतिशटा कहबो से मु थिला वाले किछि करलानी मु गला पर सब करि चलै छै पला
Seems like for either side though, like going into this one
नीचे असले खेलिबा
with either of the comps, I think for Spike.
अच्छा जो कहउथला भुवनेश्वर रा कोन जो पिलाटा के से कोन VCT सिलेक्शन हला ना कोन हला
हो ना मोटे जानि छोटे पिला उसे रेडिएंट अछि
अच्छा रेडिएंट ना बढ़िया तरह सिस्टम भी भलो रखि तो ना
हां
एटा अपडेट माउस ता ना रिसेंट माउस ता ना एटा लॉजिटेक रा
but weeding him out of mid is not going to be an easy task either.
Well, as you can see by looking at the
अबे आगो केंती क्वेश्चन ता आगो टॉयज अछि तापरे गेम रा सेमती केमदी
they can find it here or the return to form is going to take
गेम रे बे जो क्वेश्चन ता बचा जे से क्वेश्चन आगो टॉयज रे बचाला तापरे गेम रे
often talked about as
कोन सेटिंग असन दिगन
not really where you want to have to start
ईशा
to come back, but that's one way
कोन भाई
हिंदी केंदी मार दला छे
That was the aggression.
ये वाल कोन नहीं
Immediately.
दीटा स्मोक पड़ी जी
Playing this controller incredibly aggressively.
जीरो बोलटे
Autumn now needs to
काई पुश करथला
के जाने
भाई मल्ला
just trying to maybe even force them into
सो
his
मिड
position.
सो मिड दे देखो ताको सेंस ता कोन कर जी देखो जीरो सेंस कोन कर जी
Passively King is sitting Autumn dealt with. And Crystal needs to win this fight.
बैकस्टेप ता कर दला देखि
The problem though is that King 1 is second.
सेजर गेम अछि ता किंतु
looking really solid when it comes to the
जाने जन से
अरे भाई
जाने जन ना सेठी फाइट नेला
a clean start.
भाई सेठी फेट ता पूरा भूल कला सी बैकस्टेप आसुची ये टिक लुचेत ले जानता था
खड़ा गला नाइफ हिजो के
It seems assured for the attacking.
अरे भाई
That's a fake flash if ever I've seen one. Doesn't quite work out. Put to bed, but okay, still 3 more to go, and he's caught with a nade in hand. That's it. King with his 4th of the round, and maybe they just wanted to give him the orb.
Yeah, you know.
मीड पुश कर देलो भागतले जी जीतो
They'll give it down.
मीड वाल करता था
The Sheriff of King puts him to the top of the board for his side, and honestly, all of these kills were fairly important. He's surrounded in this moment.
नो मैं तो करे नथला देख
Positioning.
चाटा मार देला रे
Now been picked up for Leviathan. And obviously once
तेरे एक और चुवाले
मैच फिक्सिंग नहीं छोड़
it's not going to be much.
ए ना
Invested for the defensive side.
थोड़े दिन देखे
आईपीएल
आकर केवल जीरो केवल गोटिए टका ये बाड़ी जी जेति का सब तळे झुलुंदी
बैटमैन
उड़न टंडा जाहे जेति बाड़ी जी आ सब तळे झुलुंदी
Yeah, the problem will be though is if this series does slip from them, those pistols are probably going to be what becomes pretty defining. Now for the defense, the real question is, do you actually try and go for exits? Do you try and do any damage? Or, and it looks like what they're going to do, just hide in the corner and go down.
Of course, if anybody else will be happy to take a spare orb a little bit earlier. Spike seemed definitely...
Oh, it's Sato for sure.
Walking forward along.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a chance for a little bit. Picked up
भाई
for Leviathan. Losses.
ना टाइम नहीं
Again, they're still carrying those 2 rifles forward, which is the name of the game.
शेष कौन करू जी
Going looking for another.
खाइला नाइफ खाइला नाइफ खाइला
Find it, time dependent.
ना सेव कर दो
He's backed away just.
अरे यार
Nonetheless, the climb back for Leviathan is
ये कौन चालची कौन
ना वो ये फिक्सिंग मत 70 लागुची
अरे माने स्पाइक रे मरले बिकॉज़ तांको मरथे तांको तो मरथे तांको मिलथांदा ऑल टर्म
ए तो स्पाइक माने किछि तो पैसा तो मिल जो किछि एटलीस्ट
पैसा मिले फिर निजर और भी तो बढ़ियो
हो एटा को व्हिच टीम विल गेट फर्स्ट ब्लड दिस राउंड 15 जी फर्स्ट ब्लड
जय श्री राम कोई मारो
आओ मुंह मार देली
बैटमैन मारियो
जय श्री आओ देखिए हरी बोल
Spread across the map. They've got good slow abilities here towards the B side. The slow, obviously, being one of them. Paranoia online for Patman. This flash could be devastating. It's blind to both players. Give it
भाई उल्टा ही वाला
ये पैट मैंने सब बोला मला
पैट मैंने को एमती खेलुची तो बुझियों दादा
secured and a plank coming in on the back of it. This is about as good a start to a bonus like this as you could ever hope for.
Yeah, solid reveal from Blows made that kill come in so much easier. And for the remaining three, this becomes tough. Sato is literally just standing there. He's trying to bait that he's not.
Blows.
Walking up instead. Expect the Phoenix to come running into your face, and instead he calls the bluff. And that's the moment where they have to save. Bring the weaponry into the next round. We spoke about it. The difference between map 1 and this one is that if you can get Sato online like he was in the second,
अवश्य 6-8 ही
this
जी
Leviathan squad feels like a different beast. And this round was his and his alone.
And this is what you're going to have to deal with. Normally when you get players and you keep them in that choke point, it's very difficult to get out of the choke point. But here, a Phoenix wall to cut off the site so they can first peek back site, see no one there. And once that flash goes through, the neon is on you in an instant. And that's always going to be a
possibility. अबे इटे शॉर्ट हाइट पिलाटा चार भीतर गोली भी अच्छी था भीतर से
if they land that flash out of it. And no matter how far back you are, bet your ass Spike Scene can be on you in a second. It's a great round for Leviathan. 3 in a row now. Economy built up nicely at GE. In a pretty rough spot for this round. We should see things go 8-8.
They've at least got a couple of weapons to play with. This feels like the round for Leviathan to potentially even up that scoreline from such a massive deficit.
ए ओमेंटा बेकार खाली पुश करछ कोन दक्कार है पुश करिया
मरियो सेज मते मन लागुछ
at least be something to play with, but King has caught one more. They thought that area of the map was safe. Instead, there's not much to play with. Let's listen in to
LEV. Blind dei po quick dei tanto
ये को लैंग्वेज
tanto ये लैंग्वेज लोकल
Quer splitar? Que a gente
tá local language?
Pode ligar a hora e abrir uma meia. Tá. Vai abrir aqui nós dois. Bora. Eu só fiz o B, tá, guys? Botou B agora. Bora. Vai abrir meia? Tô com você. Levou aqui na caixa B. Fade B, fade B.
Aí lá.
Ainda se o cara tá com a... Ah, tá, é só trade, é só trade. Guys, vamos fazer parede, tá? A D segura a bang? Vai ficar aqui. A D segura a bang, hein? Chegando. Guys, temos tempo, tá? Só trade aqui.
Well, you could hear the call to move back to B. That's where the finish is coming in. And Leviathan have an easy time. GE are now having to make a bit of a blind read, and their call is to move towards the A site. Wrong side of the map. So LEV find themselves an easy entry. And a 5v2. The question is, with all the damage done already, he was going to go for the orb and then the plant, but decided to distribute that differently. Time obviously a factor there as well. But yeah, I think at this point, GE
बेसिक तो प्लांट है लानी से फेड करूची कौन सी टीयर है
सेव आउटर सेव कर देंगे
अरे यार ओ 88 हेलो
As far as this round goes for Leviathan, I love the idea. They take opening fight on B, immediately reset to that mid control, and the patience on display, knowing they're up against a bit of a mix buy, and not wanting to be caught off by the numbers. Got them autumn just walking up. Exactly what they need to do.
आका मेन प्रोफाइल 20000 किंतु यूट्यूबर मानकर सब देखियो सेता दियो तबे
how that last half went, they were losing like to clutch moments even all the way to the end of the half. And basically coming in, winning the pistol, it seems to put them right back into the right headspace again. And that's something that I think a lot of people underestimate, that this is an incredibly young team. Like, other than King, who's been around the block a little bit, you're talking about 18 and 19-year-old players. When you win the pistol second round and come out with only 4 rounds in a half, I wouldn't blame you if you came out completely mentally boomed. You look at them in that round, perfectly controlled. It looks like they were right back in the head.
Go. Wouldn't turn version Sato.
Coming through because that lead, that momentum that was there for GE has dissipated, and I think Frost has realized, okay, now we need to stop Leviathan from running away with this second half.
Exactly, a very different
pending
vibe
print
when it comes to this round that we've seen so far. Even
oh, eta kon habo Chimon ko
Leviathan, it feels like they really have found the solution, and like you said, this deep in the series as well.
Wouldn't version Sato.
Many a team just hit that mental boom. And with Leviathan being a young team as well, that's always going to be something that's in the back of our minds. But they've proven to be able to stand that test of time, even on the international stage. This time out for G, definitely dangerous. This is a full buy that they're going into. If they can capture even a fraction of the light that they had over on Pearl.
पंचायत इलेक्शन केबे कहला एबे आसुजी एबे आसीबो तेणु मेट्रो हबो सब हबो पंचायत इलेक्शन आसले आउ ताले तू किंतु हिमांशु इलेक्शन छिडाले भलो हबो तोर
So it's not just the GE need a round, they need to repeat rounds to make sure they're buy back in again. Now the one good thing, Utkal one away from that showstopper.
Hey, जो नखरा बाके जो नकरी से नखरा पुल नकरा सही नकरी
10 seconds into the round and G have to
हिमांशु एक्चुअली तू पॉलिटिकल लाइन जा तोर हबो पतरे रे
They sent 3 players to round. I think there was a wall up at the matter. 3 players.
ना खेलिया ना आपर खेलिया एड़ा सहिला तो 8-8 मैच
Well, Tom, you just seconds ago
खेलिया
8:30 लगे मैंने अभी सब लगे
सेटा की ग्लोबल स्कोर ना
फास्ट सुनो फास्ट जी जितला सेकंड लेवी जितला एबे चलची लास्ट एटा कोन ओटी हला बळे मते लागो ओटी हे जो ना कोन
जितन तो माने गोटे राउंड
माने देखे कमबैक कर सेलेनी लेवी वाला फैक्चर लेवी जितला बा
that's so rough.
Mid person mid wall करना ही से तो का
where they're going to be and you just get slaughtered. Like that was less than 10 seconds. That round basically immediately.
कौन गयो गयो ये काई भाई खेलने दी
It's not quite going to be max cash across the entirety of the board, which is a silver lining. Really isn't a silver lining.
वैसे स्पैम रे तीनटा बार कर जंदी स्मोक स्पैम रू
and that has got to bludgeon the confidence of GE. You're in the right place at the right time, but everything went wrong.
Yeah, as far as silver linings go, I think, well, guys, at least they can't buy 3 times in a row. Probably isn't what you want to be hearing on map 3
they probably can.
Of an opening series. Leviathan, yeah, I suppose they probably can anyways.
पिला काहे करियो वो अल्टा मिड रे
Looks like he owns the place. He'll be shut down after one more, but enough should already be done. Leviathan running away with every fight. Patman may try his best, and he's got backup.
I should do dilla. Leveron here.
They have fled the site.
Nah, bhai.
To plant on A, but they might not even get a chance with only one man left. GE, they put up one hell of a fight. In fact, they started this
strategy
but things in this half, the final half of the series. Sees Leviathan hit another power level.
फैंटम रे
ये साटो को देख रे साटो कौन सी हो रिएक्शन में
से मारुची हो
opening kills come in sub 5 second mark. They just run straight in and kill 2 players. They know he's coming. It's not
main draw चंदी गोटा जोड़ा player
and then it's just
main draw चंदी 3-4
अरे
भाई से मर जियो
Keep in mind that's a team that won the first 2 rounds in the first half and got bodied from that point forward, and the vibes are immaculate. Double digits found for Leviathan. 2 rounds to the good. The economy stacked in their favor, and their opponents on a very low buy. It's even going to start with a fake to the B side. They want to drag the rotates, but B stand in position. Stand ready to fight. Sheriffs have spotted at least 2 more. They're looking for this.
बढ़िया शॉट बढ़िया खेला
Not only a rifle, but the spikes on the floor now.
And this is a round that G desperately need to convert. Your opponents have been winning, and they've been winning cleanly. An upset round, a spanner in the works, a knock to the confidence is imperative at this stage. If there's any way back into the map, it has to be here, it has to be now. In the past, you might talk about damage. The damage has become irrelevant. From G is now here, close angle, cleared.
देख भला कवर दो देख केंते
नाइस 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 नाइस
डबल पिक केन करन दो जोड़ी जने ऊपर बसे जने तळे बसे डबल पिक मारन
वाइपर को नबा कथा ये खेलिया कथा तांग पे गन नहीं सीडीएम पाखरे
हाय स्पैम करी चल जी
स्मोक भी तो तुम देखना स्पैम मारी बुदी चाटा बाहर कर
10 seconds till we can't plant anymore.
10 सेकंड रा कोन करियो से
He's given up on the round.
आगे से नहीं
भाई फाइनली ये चैट खोल देखियो पूरा जी जी चले
चैट रे
They needed
बड़ा ला ए चैट गई ए
momentum. They needed a hero to step up to the plate, and they got
वो चैट आर को डाला
both Crystal
अरे
and Utkal. And in fact, it was almost the entirety of the squad finding a kill with those sheriffs. They came out of absolutely nowhere.
Will
but that could just be enough to
Crystal get at least one headshot kill this round.
Still, Leviathan have the lead, and in case we hadn't hammered it home enough, they have enough money to buy.
Oh, देखिए.
Little talked about detail.
Time up.
Credits sound very high for Leviathan. Another full buy-in presence towards the B site. Spam looking dangerous.
मार रहा है, उधर spam मार रहे.
Force Patman out of the corner. Meantime, though, Leviathan.
मर जा रे.
That's okay though, because he has his ult. Yeah. If he finds a spot to use it, that heals him back up.
Autumn. It's a big risk. Walking through that in the first place, but now he's got the angle to hold on to. Orb about to fade though. It's time to fall back.
Has to leave. This time a lot more tentative. Think back to those fast-paced winning rounds. We were talking about them being done in 10 seconds. Autumn is still trying to play with fire around this smoke instead. That ult's been used on the other side. It drags the eyes of the opponents, and that was the goal. It gives them some middle control. Still, Harvey has some utility to play with. If he can get one and throw the slow, instead he's gone. Spikescene wins that fight. Now the players within the B site are being surrounded. But it seems like they've realized back to the other side of the map they go. But can Utkal be their demon, be the Reaper on the back of the A site?
They saw so many players on that B site. They might not expect him to be tucked in like this. We've seen it from him before, but now with 12 seconds left. One strike from Utkal.
Nice.
Could have saved the day, but they'll still get this fight. Still moving to the side and King cuts off the rotates.
Bhai.
1 against 4. The spike already planted, and he'll only get his first. Locked in for Leviathan. The lead with a bit more leeway to it.
Good mid-rounding again. The information fed through to the IGL to make that last-second decision, and also just the timing of where they swing onto Utkal. He didn't really have a chance of getting more than one there. He had to commit to one because he knew there was a player behind him. Maybe he faces the other way, he gets both, but you could never know that. That's such a gamble. And that second timeout now called for Global Esports. Think back to the last half. Think to them 8-4. Winning a multitude of rounds in a row, 7 of 8 going their way, and now they sit 2 rounds down.
11-9
Staff's last chance in regulation to save them from defeat.
Well, Leviathan's ability to keep themselves in this game has been impressive. Certainly, with a little bit of bias coming out of that first map, you can understand why. GE came in looking strong. They showed us that they had individuals.
प्रथम मैच एक्चुअली जो माने रेंज एग्रेसिव जो ये थे डोमिनेट वाला माने सेमित एक्चुअली देखलला तो भलो थांदा
अरे तांकर कॉन्फिडेंट बढ़ियाला फर्स्ट मैच रू
The lead is theirs and a chance to right the wrongs.
Open series
so far, well and truly within reach. They come into this round as well. Play with true on both sides. You have that pit. The person with the pit does currently have an operator, no shields. It's an unusual look, Tom. Maybe not the round we see the pit come into play. What is the idea behind this? Where's Autumn going?
I think just because it's been a game of smoke and mirrors in mid, he's going to try and just cut through that smoke with a knife. And that knife is a sniper rifle. The problem is, just look at the ruse that's almost being set on his
head.
They nerfed those, didn't they?
That operator.
But this wasn't even the main game plan. This was almost just a ruse to give them space elsewhere. They're going to have to try and jump down together, but instead he's jumping towards two kills. Another halfway done, and pressure onto Pam, and he doesn't know how much control's already been taken by Leviathan. Another solid round from them. The ruse from Spikezine sent through, and then the rest of the players were just making their way into mid. There's the pit on the other side as well. Surely there's no way back into this.
There's no way you even tried. Not when there's an AWP on the floor, not when Uditan's already 40 HP. And look at the pit, it's formed perfectly going in towards that little hallway. You're never making it out of there alive. Even if you had the numbers, Leviathan on 12, guaranteed at this point. And considering how we started this out, Tom, it really does feel like the shoe's on the other foot now. Leviathan pushing and pulling the map perfectly, finding these pacey opening pickups as well, using that neon judge into the vent. They have full control of the map, and thinking back to Pearl, that was the problem. It was always the other way around.
The annoyance as well, if you're on the GE side, is that call is almost certainly you're going to do that. Maybe you just get vents control. Maybe you don't. We get mid. Like, you're trying to pull people away so that we can get that control for free. Instead, it's two, and, well, almost a third kill. Yeah. And the crazy thing is, we might call that like, oh, you throw a spanner in the works. He threw a grenade in the works. He basically blew up the whole round for GE. Before they even got started. Now it's a jumble sale. A sheriff, that operator saved, a judge in the pit but with no shield. This is a nightmare to try and climb back from, and Leviathan are right where they want to be.
Paranoia for Pat.
Aile kodi maila pid kodi. Ooh, timing. Timing.
भाई बीर एटलीस्ट 2-3 जण रहइबा कथा भाई मिड रे देखनो बोका चोदा वाला केमते ओडे बुलची ना के
अरे भाई सेज क्वार मनो इच्छा वाल करची ए जो वाली कोन नहीं
अधिक मुंड लगले जो कोंदे रे तमे बाया जाओ
सेज वाली करू नहीं
something that they just can't allow to happen. The stinger, not the weapon for this round, but I was going to say it might be worth it in that scenario. They managed to cross, but 2 players into the spawn is going to be an issue. They need to get rid of them, and it's all just falling apart. The red's available, it's being used, but there's another player just waiting.
Nah.
And from the depths
Fala so.
Leviathan
पे टाइम वेस्ट करा.
Cara. Dalla GG hela moj. Dalla.
जीवन रे आइथला थरे लंडन.
Oh, London as. Sada.
Hello, asibo na kon.
Jiba jalo.
A recovery that I wasn't sure we were going to see. Map 1 was devastation. Owner came out on the stage and he said,
गोटे चांस रहला.
गोटे चांस अछि.
And look at them now.
अच्छा.
सेवी का से पड़थबो?
डोना नहीं सरा पे खेलली.
आ पर ई मैच रे जाना पड़ियो.
जे हारिबो तो पर मैच रे से खेलियो.
सब ना 5 स्टार रे खेल जंदी. सब
सो गेम सो.
हां ऑन कर.
मोर भी ऑन करतो.
खास जाच.
ना खेलियो नहीं.
ना.
कहीं
जाच कोई भी.
अदर